So thank you. Welcome, and good evening. Should I say good morning to Liberia, to the nightly exchange. Thank you for coming to watch us again this evening, this morning. We are here to discuss Liberia. You can catch us on Liberia Watch News on YouTube and Facebook. Please share the show and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Share the show when you come on, and we are here. Sorry again, like I said, we'll keep apologizing until we get it right. Sorry again for the delay. We are supposed to start at 12 o'clock Liberia time and 8 o'clock our time here, so we've been coming on a little late because we've been trying to get some things together. So sorry for that. And yeah, we are here right now with I'm here with Sandy, and we got James joining us from Liberia. So please don't worry about it. The lightning is a little dull, and Emmanuel's trying to join us too from Liberia. Is a little dull, but we will get there. Um I think we were supposed to have this one is gonna be tomorrow. I hope. Oh, I think the time hosting them is supposed to be tomorrow. Our time. They 19 instead of the 18. But anyways, they're here now. So we will talk Liberia. We will talk our community and everything. They're here to talk about our community, West Point, and what's happening in those community in Liberia, and how best they can see to bring awareness or attention to to bring it to the leaders' attention, and not just the leaders, but also well-meaning Liberians and people who are from that area who lives in the diasporas. If you want to help your community out, it's not a government thing. It's not just the government. We can also do that as individuals and communities, dwellers and stuff like that. So they're here to talk about our community, and I hope we will have a good discussion tonight. And Sandy, we're gonna start with you about what's on your mind before we go to Emmanuel. Then we'll go to James, and we'll go to Emmanuel.
Well, it's good to be here again tonight. Thank you for having me on this condition, even though I'm driving home, but I'll be home very shortly. But Liberia, as always, is on my mind. So it's good to share the platform tonight with Brother Emmanuel and Brother James, and hopefully the other panelists can join us. We can discuss our country. I followed the trip again today where the Vice President is saying China advocating on Liberia's behalf, presenting our country to the Chinese government and other business partners in that areas, seeking opportunities for our country and its people. So I been following that. And on the top of that list is the issue of the yellow machine that we discussed yesterday.
Right.
Some additional information were provided today by Diamond Snagai, talking about the factory are being identified to support what I was discussing last night. Mm-hmm. So now that we know, but also I think the good thing is that the capacity of those factories were discussed. Damo confirmed that those factories, some of them can even produce machine in less than 48 hours. So it seems like they have the capacity to get the work done timely. So I look forward to the discussion tonight. And I also look forward to hearing why Emmanuel and the others coming from the West Point area there. I think, I look forward to hearing what they have to say. So it's good to be here.
Absolutely. Let me see. I was supposed to upload some of the videos that we had. Emmanuel, let me see. Who do we have on right now?
Emmanuel is on.
What's on your mind?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Yeah, can you tell us what's on your mind before we get into the show?
Firstly, thank you for the show. Thank you for bringing me on this show.
No problem.
We thought it was taking an initiative to clean up our sick side because the place is damaging on a daily basis. We went there, we did some videos, We did some photos. We even spoke with the chairman and the commission. We spoke with the commission at West Point and that
We'll
on
get,
Nipitan.
we'll get into that. We just want you to just tell us briefly, like, or you just telling us why you're here.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Go on.
So we should I go ahead?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so we spoke with the commission from West Point and that on Nipitan, discussing
Mm-hmm.
about the sea coast to clean the place because this place is damaging on a daily basis. So
Mm-hmm.
I spoke with James. Me and James we went there with one other guys. We went there, we spoke with them, and they gave out the free way. They say if we're willing, they will provide men to work with us and get the place clean. So when we got to the chat room, we thought about reaching it in the chat rooms because there were issues relating our country are hardly discussed. So
Right.
when we reach you, you say you have interest in it, that you will be on the show to discuss it. So we are here now concerning that issue.
Okay. Is James on?
James
I
is
think
there?
Jim is having issue, eh?
James is in the back. Let me add him on.
Alright,
You hear James? Can you hear us?
yeah, I'm hearing full loud and clear. Sorry for signal
Okay.
problem, but right
Can
now,
you go ahead and tell us what's on your mind, please?
yeah, today, what is on my mind is what about
Jim,
our
you are a little low. You are a little low. Your gadget is a little low.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, manageable. Yes, good now. Better now.
Is
Okay,
that way you can turn the volume up?
yeah. I think getting me now loud and clear, right?
You're better, yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so what is on my mind right now is about our environment and also that is uh, issue relating to our rural community, most especially West Point, one of our key cities. But not just in the West Point suffering from situation like that. If you do the perception survey, vast majority of our community will see people are going through similar situation like West Point is going through. But right now, West Point being one of the strong communities, my attention has been to it. And that is the reason from the initial stage when I get on the platform, I decided to bring up things relating to that particular community in order for us to discuss it. And as we could thought of it, they may embrace the idea and other people within the chat room to embrace the idea. So we are bringing it back to the show again. So I think it's better for us to discuss it. That is what I'm on my mind right now.
All right. Thank you. Let me see. Minutes. Give me something. So I've been trying to get the your videos up. I'm having a load something, so I think we'll go on another topic right now and be discussing it while I try to put the video up because I want to show the video on there when you're talking about it so people can have the idea of what you're saying and not just, discussing it and without a visual something. So let's
I mean,
start with
I don't know. I think maybe while you're trying to upload the videos,
mhm.
I mean, I have a couple questions for the gentleman. Maybe that can help them to
Yeah.
explain really what they are trying to get to. So,
Yes.
Emmanuel and James, I heard you very clear. You are advocating uh, about your community. You are advocating for the cleanliness of your community, which is the West Point area. But like you said, it extends beyond the West Point area. You say you have engaged the local authority. What exactly are you trying to get out to people listening to you tonight regarding the issues that you are flagging surrounding your community? What exactly are you trying to get out tonight?
Yeah, we are trying to get a solution to see how we can be able to curtail some of these things within the community. Because just like on time, Amy told us that in order for us to get into it, we should be able to contact local leaders, and on the local leader, we should also hit the district level. So we did that. We met with the commissioner. We decided to flag the issue, show some of these photos to him concerning about the community. And he too, he embraced the idea. He said we have been going, he have been, they have been going through series of issues like this, but they've been looking for people that will come in order to help. Like for example, before they had a beach and waterway project over there, but before they see these people even leave power before United Party come into power, those programs were subsided, so they are no longer in operation. And looking at MCC, they can extend to all of the community. There are major cleaning aspects just being on major streets and also to, to major public places. They're where they stop. So when it comes to the community aspect, no. Sometimes it leaves with the community themselves. And if those are dwelling within those communities, most especially in West One, when they clean their dump, when they clean all of their dikes, their waste, they throw it on the beach and that is the riverside. I think let me see majority of the video what I sent to her and also some of the photos what I sent to her. If you see it clearly, you will know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I mean this I'm sure is a very serious problem. Uh, because myself, I mean, I know the West Point Belt very well, and not just West Point. I mean, every big side or water side in our country, unfortunately, we have issues. But do you think, since this has been an ongoing problem, James, is part of your initiative, I mean, community awareness, or are you also bringing the community, or are you trying to bring the community to partake in this initiative, or are you just trying to seek government intervention at this point?
Yeah, we are doing it both sides. And that is the reason why we engage the local leader first on the local leader to the district level. We are doing it both sides. We are trying to include the community and also that national government. So through the commissioner, because that is the reason we met the commissioner, so we brought the whole idea to him. Say yeah, this idea will be back up. And when time reach people just inform me in time so that I can be able to contact other people to join us in order for us to do it successfully.
Okay, my next question would be: is there an are you guys an organization, or are you just group of community dwellers that are trying to get this address?
We don't have specific organization trying to do this. We are community dwellers. First, we had an organization. Like for example, our father organization called Slum Dwellers Deserve Better. But due to the same political issue, everybody want to. There are some people in the government were in the group wanted to gain power. Say that some political time is reaching that they bring all of these things to attention. So when they were engaging to the political aspect, you see that many people started leaving. So once we are trying to get to national politics, we see a group going power. So they decided to start the organization, and now everybody go away. So at this time now, we are trying to engage community people, and the community first, they buy the idea wholeheartedly. They try to engage ourselves into it.
Okay, I mean that's good. That's good. I mean, I don't know if Emmanuel want to add before I give my suggestion, but Emmanuel, I don't know if you were listening when I asked a couple questions. Is there anything you want to add to that?
I'm glad you getting me. Hello? You
Yes,
getting me?
we're getting
Yeah,
you now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
why?
No, I think James addressed some of the questions I asked, but I was just wondering, your initiative, if you are bringing the community to partake. I think James answered that as well, but I'm wondering if you wanted to expand more on why we are here tonight. What exactly are you trying to get out tonight?
Concerning the our community issues that we are faced with.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been with organization from the same community here, but because of the same political reason, people don't go their side and the organization disperse. So for us, we just from the community, we don't in any organization, we just from the community and we decide to do this. So today was to reach on the both sides. That's all.
And when you mean both sides, you're talking about
reaching to the local heirs, and if they give us the opportunity, reaching to people from the same community who have the hand to help us in the process.
Is this a long-term project? Whereas, I mean, in the form of trying to permanently address these issues of uh, having waste being disposed by the ocean, by the seaside, or is this something that is going to be done for temporary solution in the resolution?
We don't know yet because we don't know yet. Right now, anything in Liberia, if you do anything, you have to be having budget set. We don't know yet if it will be there for forever or something like temporary. We don't know yet until we can conclude.
Okay,
Yeah, we don't
so
know.
you spoke.
We are
Let
seeking
me.
support from.
I say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me want to come in because I got a few more questions. But do you want to come in?
Yeah, well, thank you. I was trying to, get a video set up, but yeah. So you're trying to get your community clean, right? Do you want it? Is it gonna be done if someone, let's say there are people who are living in that area before, who are living in the diaspora that want to help out? How can they get to? I mean, how can they do that? You say
Come
you're
again?
trying in case somebody want to help you out, right? Or you're just
Mm.
putting this thing for the government, or you're putting it, you're trying to let it, let it out for anyone who wants to help out. Let's get that clear first.
Yeah, yeah. We put it out on anyone who want to help first because government thing is like something they won't take immediate effect because we that in the community
Mm-hmm.
we see what going on and we know what going on. So they won't take immediate effect. So we're trying to push the agenda first so we ourselves can put our foot down and see how best we can start the work. Then if when you go longer, when we know that the work is smooth, then we can call government attention to continue the work. Maybe then they can assign people to the seaside and to the various areas that damage to take care of them.
Is that sustainable? Like, can you have community dweller to? How did all the waste get it anyway? Is it community dwellers, or I mean, is it from the ocean? What is going on with this?
Yeah, let me
So
come in. Let me come in on that.
yeah,
The
yeah, go
waste,
ahead.
yeah, the waste that is being dumped by the seaside, by the seaside, is not only community. Mind you, if you see other side, there's a market there. So both of
Mm-hmm.
the tech that is produced in the market, ensure the
Mm-hmm.
enemy from throwing it, it directly into the sea. So at the end, you find out that both the community dweller and that the market here is dump
Mm-hmm.
their waste within the sea. So like the question what you were asking, whether we wanted for it to be long term, we want to, we are hoping for it to be a
Yeah, like
long
how
term
can you
because
control that?
okay, like for example, I'll talk about the beach and water waste situation, right? When the beach and water waste situation was when they were initiating the project on the initial stage, they had security on the river beach side. Now when anybody dumped there, they were arrested, then they turned over to police. So that is the reason why when you see we engage on the initial stage, local government, adults, that are the representative, we try to sit on a round table to discuss it. If we start to dispose this there, what can we do in order for us to prevent those that don't get to the river seaside, both the riverside and the seaside? What can we do? And they told us if we decide to dispose it there, they have said it will help in the process in order for us to get people around to be carrying those places overnight. But they didn't tell us actually how money will be looking like or how it will be like.
Okay. So James, 1 second. Just hold on a little bit. Let me just play this for the sake of the audience. Let me put this something up.
This is how the community look like. People residing all close to the dead.
Wow.
Mm, play the other side.
I mean, that is terrible.
Right.
What I saw there is terrible.
This how the community look like. People residing all close to the deck.
So that's on the beach?
Yeah,
That's on the beach?
yeah, it's on the beach, even by the riverside.
Oh wow.
Even when middle, almost like when you enter in the middle of the township to the bottom of that, you see that.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we see around. Unfortunately, in most African countries, this is not unique to Liberia. I mean, I've been to Kenya, for instance. Kenya have the largest, most terrible slum you can find in Africa. With trash like that. But I applaud the initiative that you guys are undertaking.
Mm-hmm.
What we need to work on is to ensure that your initiative comes to fruition and that it's sustainable. James, I mean, Emmanuel, I heard you saying that this is not just the issue of the dweller. I agree, but majority of that comes from the dweller. But the problem also is that the dwellers have nowhere to also to dump their trash. There is not a system in Liberia where dwellers, will residents will take their trash. That's what we have here. Every Thursday in my community, there's the trash company will pass around and collect all the trash. We don't have that in Liberia. So people now use their backyard, they use their front yard, they use whatever open space they see to dump their trash because people will always have trash. And if you do not have a place or an organized system to dispose those trash, then it become issue. Then you dispose them right in front of your own resident. No one will want to live in area like that. No one will want to live in place like that. But more often they have no other alternative than to just live in areas like that, or turn their areas to be that terrible. My question to you: if you are successful to collect those trash, where are you going to dispose them? Emmanuel and James.
Yeah, let me come in.
Okay.
Like before we have, we have trash cans to several locations. Like one location to Waterside and another location to the General Market building. Almost like three were there. So when Kochi became mayor, Kochi took all of those things from in the street because he said he didn't have more equipment to pick up those tests. So that we took it out of the street. Okay. So what we intend to do, if we are successful in this initiative, we want to make sure to have trash cans in those several locations. Then we would strategically communicate with national government, that is NCC, to use our trucks to take these trash from our community and carry to their main gathering center.
Okay. So do you think, because like Cindy said here, you still adding?
Yeah, the negotiation is ongoing right now
Sorry about that.
Between the commissioner and that of the mayor, the current mayor. Yeah. So that is the initiative that is going on. So if we are successful, then definitely the commissioner is going to work with us in collaboration with the mayor of Monrovia.
Okay, so what I'm seeing here is that welcome. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Arthur.
Yes, thank you. I don't know if you guys getting me.
Yeah, we can hear you. So, James, what I'm seeing here is that, like Cindy was saying, on this side we have trash day. We have the city come and pick up the trash and all that, but it's not free, right? Those things happen. It's in our bills. We pay for them. Everything we do here, we pay for them. I know our people are used to free stuff. So, do you think, as a young man in this community, and you're advocating for this cleanup and all of that, if you were to be successful with the mayor, whatever you're doing, do you think your community would be willing to do that? To have this, it won't be like a noise, which I don't think they should listen to anyways. If there's a way to do it, to tax people to do that. But do you think the community would be willing to do that, to have people to come in and clean up after this cleanup and take that trash, to not have the kind of pollution next time, or to have this kind of trash build up on that beautiful place that we've seen that's supposed to be like attracting tourists, and something that is looking like the bigger slum over there. Do you think the community will be willing to do that, to keep it clean?
Human rights are talking to you. The dwellers of the community are waiting to take those.
One second. Let's show it again,
Go out.
just in case people. Yeah, I just wanted to show that again for people who are just coming to watch it, to see what you're talking about. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So as I was saying, the people of the community are willing to take the initiative. Everyone wants better things. Like for example, right now, if you know one of the training developmental issues that is taking place within our country, most especially in Morovia, the water and sewer thing, those that sit now, those that build by the poor, somebody want to mark their property. They themselves started bringing in property down before even government could come in. So that alone tells you that the people, they are willing to accept development, they are willing to accept good things in everything. Now you ask every common Nigerian, their priority is that they want better development in their country. They want sustainable development within their country. So I can assure you that if they initiated, they set long, and we
Mhm.
are succeeding in doing it, the community are the web of us. They are winning the web of us. Just like what you were saying, like the other day I told the commissioner, I said, if we put this measure in place, like for example, maybe we decide to gather one, we decide to be getting away from out of the community and parking one place for entity to come away, and we decide to tax each house maybe on the weekend, maybe $50 or $20 or $30. Do you think what I mean?
Mhm.
And he told me it was a very fun idea, but when we go about doing it, you win it, you have to start first. When you start first, then the other people will follow you. I think
Okay.
so. We will find solution to that. We think about it. So that's it.
Okay, so that's good to hear, because, like I said, a lot of things today in Liberia is complain, complain, complain. We all want to see Liberia do this. We want to see development. We want to see sanitation. But these things, yeah, it happen in other countries. But what they don't know is that it's not free. You have to chip in a little bit to make these things, to make it sustainable. But because these people that are coming to clean up are doing, they have to pay them, right? So that's how the community, or the state, or the city or government, generate money to get it going. So, Mr. Arthur, thank you. Is there anything you want to add to this? Any question that you have, or want to add on?
Yeah, I just joined, so I will just follow to the next topic.
Okay, so we are discussing about the community. Emmanuel and James are here tonight discussing about, how best they can bring awareness to the community cleaning, which is West Point, right? And that's district number what?
Number 7.
Number seven,
District
district
number
number
7.
7. Okay. So, have you brought this to the attention of your representatives as well?
Yeah, yeah. We have been to the attention. So we
Uh,
talk about
um,
that.
let's have Emmanuel want to come in with that. Because you're a little low, James. You're very low. I don't know what's going on with your gadget. Emmanuel, you want to chip in on that?
Oh, you getting me?
Oh, loud and clear. Yours is loud, yeah.
Yeah, come again.
I was asking James if you guys had, in some way managed to bring this to the attention of your representative.
Yeah.
And what did you get from it? What was the answer or what was the feedback?
For Liberia, our lawmakers, we should donate on such an issue like this. The immediate effect. They will always be like, I will take it to the government and we'll discuss it.
Um,
So, in waiting, we can't be sitting waiting for them. So, we have to put ourselves together while we are working. When they come to see us working, then they will be able to give whatsoever they have and to purchase us. And we can be sitting waiting for them. Since they told us to wait, we can be sitting waiting for them and the community is damaging.
that makes sense. So, James, you want to say something?
Yeah, like you asked her what have neither with the representative of the district. Yeah, we plan to do so. And yeah, we plan to do so because there were a lot of us who had step-by-step discussion. When you gave all the pending coming out of all the thing here. So waiting for that time, when that time arrives, we will sit with him, we'll discuss it.
Oh, so you planning to do so, but you have not done so yet. But Emmanuel is just saying that he because he know what happened when you go to these lawmakers, it's not a quick fix. They will let you. Okay, so that's why you're trying to do this before you engage them, and when they see you working.
When you get them, but they give us time for us to maybe for us to talk it. So we have not talking yet. But we have already been engaged on it. We have not talking. So waiting for the time for those things for it. But we have it to get ball rolling before we can get into the discussion.
I don't know why your phone is so low. But
I
so
don't know what happened in my job.
yeah,
You getting
guys,
it
just
loud?
say that again.
Get it now.
Oh.
Your gadget is grounding.
Get it loud and
You want to log out and log back in, please? All right, thank you. So Emmanuel, can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello?
Okay. So look, Cindy asked James earlier. I don't know if you heard it. Like, do you guys have is it like a organization or what is this? Like,
No, it's not like organization.
so
It's
how
not
do
like
you, in case someone wants to help with this
yeah.
initiative, like how do you? Because let me be honest with you. Here, it's not like you don't have Liberians here who care about our country, who always want to help when they see things like this, right? You have people that who wants to do stuff like this, but the trust with people on the ground is a problem, right? Giving something to send money to people, and I'm not saying it's you. I'm just saying general the what the
Yeah, I understand. Yeah,
you will come out and people will come out and bring things like that. I mean, you get up, people will rally up and send money, and nothing will get done. They will just go ahead and do their own thing, and that's the end of it. And it's not like people have money here wasting around, but they care about our community, they care about our country, they want to see this thing like they continue about for stuff like this coming up. Like there's young men in the community want to see good thing, but is it genuine? Are you gonna use that whatever resources that you come up with? If somebody has to send a dollar and stuff and put it together for that reason, would it be used for that cause? So that's why I'm asking you, like, is it an organization? Is just Emmanuel and James saying that, if you want to do anything, just reach out to Emmanuel and James, and like, who do they hold accountable for when they see something when it's not done?
getting me?
Yeah, I can hear
Are you
you.
getting me? Yeah. We formed an organization before, like we said earlier, but based on the political issues, so people go their way. But we thought it was to come together as a community dwellers to do this. So we reached out to the commission, and even if you have our contribution, we are available. It's not like we know in Liberia people from that side they don't 100% trust Liberian because some of them because they say one apple spot the whole tree, but
There's a
for
reason,
us
yeah.
we know we care about our community, especially our country. So such a thing happening, we won't just sit down and tie our hands doing nothing and just no, not like that. So even before then, you send or dine. If you want to speak to competent people from the community we know, we also contact you with them. And we gather our people around. You can do the rally on our side. Then if we rally prepared, if you want to know that we want to trust all really, then we can get together. Then we will start the work. Maybe you can send delegates or what of you, then you will see what we carry on. But not like we want money to do something, we enrich ourselves or to do something else, but we just want the raffle thing to be done, and we believe that there will be a transparency and accountability because we trust ourselves.
Okay. Cindy, you got anything to add?
Well, I spoke on this issue before. I don't know if Arthur have given his he joined us when we're talking about this. So I don't know if he spoke on it. The concerns cleaning the West Point community. Arthur, have you said anything on it? Do you have question for the gentleman? You have contribution?
He pleaded the fifth.
No, I think like okay, I have gotten some clear idea a little bit about what the young brothers want, which is very important.
Right.
I know these kinds of community initiatives are important because of the kind of society we live in. We live in a society where people to do voluntary work is very difficult. All right, especially when there is no funding or even express it because sometimes they will be thinking that there will be no support. So to see young brothers and sisters from the West Point community thinking that they want to come in to help clean the community is a brilliant idea, and we must be able to think about supporting them. But I think what you guys advise them on will be very necessary for them to go back. And if it is possible, they can put themselves into a very unique kinds of group from their community and name and style that group. So we can be able to locate them easily, and that when the name of the group is called in terms of production of materials, when they see them in the street, they will know exactly. And these are the young people from West Point, and this is what this is their name. Rather than if it is individually driven, maybe one of them or two of them want to put a foundation together, they can still use a combined name and establish a foundation. Then it can be easy for us to support that kind of foundation. But I think it's a very good idea, and we must be able to encourage them.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I'm just to add to that before the gentleman maybe give their contact out in case anybody want to contribute. But just to add to that, when I was in Liberia, we had an organization called the Youth Beyond Barriers (YBB), which was headed by a pastor called Pastor Akwe, and he founded that organization, and we used the organization to clean. Mostly what we're doing was just cleaning campaign. The Somalia Drive, Ghanansville area, and we were being sponsored by major UN-based organizations because we were together, because it was a well-recognized organization. We were sponsored. I mean, there were a lot of us. To the extent that YBB even went outside of the Monrovia area. So again, it may not be as large as YBB, but usually people gravitate towards organization. But the initiative, like I said earlier, is a brilliant one. I have a question though, James. I saw a video of the community. Have you guys started at all Have you? I don't know if you already said that, but have you guys started doing any cleanup campaign at all?
Yeah,
James or Emmanuel?
not now.
James, I didn't hear you clearly. What did you say?
Yeah, you guys is very low.
Yeah, I say, yeah, you getting me now?
Yeah, go ahead.
You getting me? Thank you. Yeah, like you said, we have a clinic and program like the first Saturday. We have few group of youth within the community we put together. We clean principal street, but not the seaside because after I won't allow nobody we need equipment to clean that place. So we clean the main road from down West Point, from the coast side all the way coming down. So it's just a temporary cleaning. So that was sometimes when we met up with the commissioner said, yeah, this is a very overwhelming talking about cleaning or something because you see it sometimes you hit it, just a temporary one.
Okay.
They just cleaning or
And the entire community is on board.
get to you. How can we go about
Okay. So I mean, I don't know if Emmanuel is here. Maybe they can give their contact.
Emmanuel, what's the add-on? Because we're really finding it hard with James.
Oh, you getting me?
Yeah, you're very loud.
we have the
You
waiting
getting me?
center, for example, we have
We're hearing you, Emmanuel. Jim is low. We're hearing you.
Okay. Because you are explaining something personal.
Yeah. So if you want to address my question, and maybe I don't know, you guys can share your contact numbers if people want to reach out to you, and then we can maybe move on to other discussions.
Yeah, I have my contact Lone Star number.
So the people want to reach out to you. Which number do you guys want them to reach out to?
If you reach out to me, you'll get to James. Even if you reach out to James, you'll get to me. It's just that you just have. If you want to reach out to any of us, if you reach out to James, you'll get to me. If you reach out to me, you'll get to James.
If people want to contribute, how do they contact you?
I can call my contact number
Okay, yeah, give your number out.
0886
Mm-hmm.
37
Mm-hmm.
26
Yeah.
98.
Okay.
So this is your Lone Star, right?
Yeah, this is my loan. I have to put plus 231 Labrador code.
Right.
Yes, 231.
Plus 231 0886 37 26 98.
Oh, trust me, when they're calling from here, they know what to do.
Okay.
So
Okay. I mean, is there any parting statement now, Emmanuel, from you on this as we move on?
Yeah, thank you so much for the show. We appreciate and we're looking forward because in addition we don't have equipment as well. So if anything I will do for us, it will help us to speed up with the work. So I just want to say thank you to everyone for their listening ears and their role they have played, and for everything. I just want to say thank you. I don't know if my colleague have something to say as well.
James, can you try?
James, are you there? Oh, James.
Maybe
Okay, I think we are having issue with James.
yeah,
But
James, you
Emmanuel,
can just hold your hand. You don't have to sell it down. Just holding your hand.
So the numbers are in the chat. Let me put on the screen too. If you want to contribute, I think we'll find time and bring them on again because, like Mr. Otto said, I think what he suggested was very important too. You guys should go and have it like even if it's just the two of you that you have a couple of guys and other people,
So after
to
the that, okay, so A is 37, 26, okay, that's it, that's it, correct.
to go make it like a organization too, and like what you can call it, West Point cleaning up campaign team or whatever, something that you just come up with it and you
Excuse
can
me
all
1 minute.
come back.
Yeah, there is a mistake to the place you start from 0886, it will be 0886, 37, 26, and 8, and seeing the 3.
Oh, hold on. 0886 or
Yeah,
37.
it will be
Okay.
37, 26, and 8.
Okay, let me remove that. Thank you for sending in. 0886. 0886. Oh yeah, the 37, 26, 98.
Yeah.
That's the number to get in touch with Emmanuel. And when you get in touch with Emmanuel, you will also get James on the screen. Let me put on the screen. And also, like I said, I think you guys, like what I was saying, you guys should go and get it more, organized and then come back and
Yeah.
talk more about
Sure.
it and something. Maybe for now, a lot of people wasn't on, but next time it will be more, you know,
Yeah.
something we'll stay in the chat too and something more. But thank y'all for coming on. I mean, James, you there now? You want to say something? I saw your gotcha today giving you Barbara. Can you hear us? Oh, you poor thing. But yeah, I
Yeah,
guess
I think we are good. I mean, we can move on to other discussions. I mean, if you don't
yeah,
mind.
that would be so. If you, I don't know, the way your phones are giving you high time, I don't know if you can stay, but if not, we'll thank you for coming on and we'll try to move on to our next topic. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So welcome, family. You missed the party. Um,
No, I did not miss the party.
you-
I never miss party. And once that party, I always there. Even in spirit, I will be there.
okay, hallelujah. But we're gonna start with um, uh, we're gonna start with
How are you, Sandy, and the other gentleman?
It's good to have you back, family.
What what you mean by to have me back?
You were not here. You were not here yesterday. I mean, Arthur was here
Oh,
yesterday on fire. You were
oh
not here
yeah,
where Arthur was keeping the show alive.
I know, I know. I was caught in between the season. I
Arthur,
couldn't.
Arthur, you saw when you ran away. I mean, you're not able to tell Arthur fire because Arthur is not supporting the UP government, man. He was blasting them yesterday. So I'm glad that you ran away.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy to be back. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So I can't wait. I don't know why the moderator. Go ahead, Arthur. Go ahead. Tell him.
So I said, welcome, family. Yeah, it's not just about opposing the government. Like I said, we people in the country must be able to express themselves freely, and I think that is the power of the democracy that we all uphold.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
fortunately for him, it is a civilized government. He's not looking over his shoulder. He can criticize them. Nobody going to throw right over his house. Nobody going to pick him off on his location. He's not going to be, in great fear for criticizing the government.
I mean, are we talking about the same government that keeping people in expensive hotels, trying to convince them or engage them to speak ills about Funatico fight? Is that the same government we're talking about?
Oh
That is an
wow.
allegation. That is a reckless bravado.
Ah,
It has no substance inside.
Reckless what?
reckless
Bravado.
reckless Bamado. So yeah, let's move on, guys. Well, moving
But
on
I'm
to
happy to be back, Amy. Well energized.
yeah. Thank you for ignoring my call yesterday, but anyways,
No,
let's
I
move
was
on.
on family duty, Amy. I'm sorry. Sorry.
Okay. So we're starting with the president's interview today. Was it today? Yesterday, should I say? On BBC, right? I remember in the past we criticized the. When I say we, I'll just say we. Don't count me on. You don't see me criticizing. Just go by the flow, right? We Liberians, or some of us Liberians. Oh, you guys want to take part in the show?
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Yeah, if you,
I don't think the lighting and everything is not
yeah,
too good.
your
So
lighting is kind of dark.
Okay, okay,
So let's take care of that.
okay,
Then yeah.
no problem.
Lane Labor, Lane, there's a beach in Zwedru. I don't know what we have the Zwedru beach. So if you build a house around the Zwedru beach, I'll buy it. Thank you.
So, yeah. So in the past, the past administration, I remember people criticizing President Weah for riding private jets to every trip that he took, right? And then President Boakai came to power, and we saw the same thing happening. So he was asked on BBC. Liberians complained about, trips and private jets and all of these things and stuff like that. What could he say about that? And our favorite president of all time, even though he criticized private jets in the past, told us that it is necessary for a president to take a private jet to I don't know, all the trips or certain trips that the president is going on. So there's kind of caused, a little bit of noise in the country, and in America here too, we hear oh, all of a sudden President Boakai knows this and yada yada yada. What do you guys think of I mean, do you call this like hypocrisy that other people are calling it, or it was just can we say President Boakai did not realize what the need for private jet was, and now that he is the president, he does. You guys, I want to hear your take on it, starting from family.
no, take Sandy because I got a different opinion. I don't want to sound like
How do you know my opinion? You can't tell me.
I already know the side Sandy is on. So I
No,
just
no,
want
no,
to
no,
find
no,
this
no.
argument.
No,
Sandy, go ahead. I
Are
give
you
you
playing the
the
bagel?
pass.
you are now the host, Famula. Allow
I'm the
the host.
co-host. Amy, can I start with the co-host? She
No,
missing the line.
please allow
So
the
go.
host.
Andy is a co-host today. You came late.
Please allow the host to run the show. So go ahead.
I didn't even hear the whole thing. I came in late. So go ahead. Raise that
President
issue again.
Boakai said it is necessary, even though during President Weah's time, we all criticize private jets ride. President Boakai said on BBC News today or yesterday when he was asked that it is necessary for the president to fly private jets.
Well, I actually want to listen to the exact statement
Okay.
of the president. So if we had something like that, you can play it so we can just hear the audio. Because I listened
Did you listen to that statement today when you were making that? I try not to play, but let me try. Say if I'm gonna want to be difficult.
No, I'm not. I just want to be clear and know what exactly I'm speaking on.
So you
Because
never
I know
heard the interview.
the president spoke today, yesterday. I listened to some part of it, but
I do not ride private jets just because I want to ride them, but there are occasions that it become necessary. I can assure you that you are not here to misuse resources for any purpose.
I want you.
Do African leaders like yourself have an idea of lived experiences of the common man or woman?
If anybody who is knowledgeable about a common person That's the person sitting right before you. Corruption is a poison in this country, and we are going to deal with it. This is a government that is serious about service to the ordinary person.
So that was it. Well spoken. The president said he gave his individual opinion on what the issue about the private jet is, because this has been something that we all frown about. But here is the catch. This is what I caught from what the president said.
Mhm.
He said that we are not just riding private jet just because we want to ride private jet. We are not. But there are special occasions that require us to ride private jet. So that is exactly what I really you see, the president was very honest. From the inception of his speech, he said it. We are not yet to waste the Liberian people resources. We know in the past that there were people who were riding perpetually. In fact, the private jet was their living place, leaving the country for 48 days and going somewhere on private jet to enjoy himself. The president is not a celebrity. The current president is not a celebrity. So
from what you're saying is that when it's a government trip, or presidential trip to go to represent the country, it's okay to ride private jets. Or when the
on special occasion, the president was very emphatic. He spoke English over there. He did not speak Kisi.
What I'm asking you now, I'm not speaking Kisi either.
I'm speaking out of what the president said. The president said on some occasion it is necessary that the president use a private jet, and that's exactly what is happening. On special occasion, the president will not ride a commercial flight to go there because one, time sensitivity, two, security implication, and other thing. Wait, has the CDC had the intuition or infatuation to tell the Liberian people exactly what were the necessity of the president riding the private jet when he was going to all of those places that he was going to? No, they did not. They did not. They were President Weah was just riding private jet at his will, anywhere he feel that going. He was living the life that he never lived when in fact, he was living the life as if he was still playing soccer like a celebrity. So we condemn the act of riding private jet. Liberia is not a poor country like many of our friends saying that Liberia is a poor country. We shouldn't be riding private jet, but we condemn it. We condemn the riding of private jet. But is it necessary for us to say to the Liberian people that there are certain implications of riding commercial flight, especially when the president is into Raj going? There are certain security implications. Yes. For the sake of expediency, is it necessary that some trip that the president ride private jet? Yes. But the president is, like he said, we are not wasting resources like how other people wasted resources on riding private jet.
Would you want to see President Bouaga ride a commercial jet when he going to coming for treatment, let's say like the US or South Africa? Would you want to see, or would you rather President Bouaga stay in line in queue with every other passenger as the president going for treatment? Is that what you're saying? Because that is not a government or special trip, something like that.
What did you just say?
You said that it is necessary, like the president said, to ride private jets on special occasions, right? Let's say, for example, going for ECOWAS meeting in Nigeria. He has to get there at a certain time. He cannot stand in a queue, and which we agree. But on a personal note, we should not be doing it riding private jet. So this is what I'm asking you now. Is it okay to see President Boakai riding a commercial or getting on a commercial flight, going, let's say, coming for treatment to the US or South Africa or Ghana? Because that's not anything that have to do with Liberia or the common people lives or whatever. Is that okay when President Bouakai ride a
Look,
commercial
I don't
flight?
know how people want to bring President Bouakai down to the point where you said the president going for treatment and he should ride commercial flight. I don't
No, I'm
know.
asking you.
No, look, here's the thing. Until we start seeing the president to be the number one citizen, that his life is important, no matter what any other person feels, the president should be treated as the number one citizen. We are not saying that the president should perpetually ride private jet. Wait, is Liberia old enough to have her own presidential jet? These are conversations that the legislature should be looking into. We are too old enough of a country to even dwell on this. The reason why people were saying this about President Weah, it was because President Weah was on this flight perpetually, and he was going there for things that has nothing to do with the country.
Wasn't he not the first citizen of the country as well?
First citizen, but the flight he was on, was it in any way pertaining to the country? Going to go watch soccer of your son, was it in any way pertaining to the country? Going to Ghana unannounced, that the president of Ghana had to tell the Liberian people that they are not aware that the president is in his country. Is it something that we're supposed to say, yeah, this is it? No. Has President Bouakai just get on private jet to go visit girlfriend or somebody else unceremoniously? That is not what we are talking about. Cutting down waste. The president said on some occasion, that's what he said, that English he spoke. On some occasion, it is necessary that he and whosoever that is on his entourage ride private jet, and it is clear. But he's not saying that I'll be riding private jet too, or on some occasion, and that is exactly what happened. President Bouakai will ride private jet on some occasion. That's my point.
Thank you.
I mean, can I come in? Yeah, can I just come in?
Yeah, we'll get
yeah,
to
I think.
Wait for the
okay.
But go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
All right. I can go ahead.
Yeah, you can go ahead. Give your thought on that.
Yeah, thank you. I think when we come to these kinds of international discourse, we should not come in with sentiment and try to to campaign, because we are not in the mood of campaigning. Like I said yesterday, we are in the mood of development, and we must focus on development and that of the economic issues. So most of the people who supported the Unity Party in 2023 and are supporting the Unity Party now, I think there is one thing they missed out. They did not learn from history. Because the former president Weah was not the first person to ride private jet. If you look at Tolbert had his own jet. The country had its own jet. And that jet was called Speedy. The reason why Tolbert called the jet Speedy, because it could crisscross any of the region without waiting for Canaan flight, airways, all the kind of different. We are Air Liberia do, but the president had to move from one country to another in no time. So you can come back 20 to 30 some more years, and you have a president that will still be waiting in the queue. And if there is an emergency meeting, the time is set, then you have to wait for one commercial flight to come, and then maybe the timing of that commercial flight, the weekly schedule, that schedule does not coincide with the schedule of the president. It delays him a lot, and it also sends a signal to the other African brothers who will be waiting for him to that kind of conference and say, oh look, because of delay in flight and whatsoever. So let's stop the hypocrisy. I think the former president Weah was right to ride private jet, and it is also right for the current president Bouakai to ride private jet. Okay. But I will end up with this. When we do these things, what is going to happen is that the messaging for the guys from the Unity Party will not really suffice in 2029, if that is what they want. Because you cannot tell the people it was wrong to ride private jet and you want to justify. Liberian people, they love sincere people. And they love, people who are not also sincere. When you are not sincere, Liberians want you to be, not sincere to the core. You must defend your insincerity. Then they will say, oh yeah, that man, he's not sincere and he can defend it. But if you prove to Liberians that you are so sincere, you are so earnest, and you try to pretend, they don't believe in you, they don't love you. And I think that's just my perspective about that. It is wrong for them criticizing yesterday, but it is right for the president to ride private jet. And it is also right for us to buy private jet.
Mr. Arthur, you think President Bouaka now, will you call it him being dishonest and not being sincere? Or do you think now that he's in that role, flying all over the place? Well, number one, that put his age on it, right? We understand his age. He's not a young man that'll be jumping from here and there. But even with that, like you said, back in the days, Liberia had their own flight called what? Speedy, right? What? Speedy 1? Or what?
Yeah, the president has Speedy.
Okay.
Speedy.
Yeah. So
yes, Speedy. 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 It's just to move the president as fast as possible. That was what was written on the plane. Speedy.
Okay, so now that
it was a private jet.
In that role that he has to take on all these assignments, and you see that is really not possible to do that. So you think it's a realization that he's coming to now, or you call that dishonesty?
I think it was dishonesty, because the former president knows that President Tolba had his own private jet.
Yeah.
He knows that. He knows that. So he cannot come and be criticizing, the former president, we should not ride private jet, we spend the people money. And that's the insincerity of the guys from the Unity Party and some other politicians. All right? If you want to be sincere.
Do you think President We Are Lifestyle too also had people criticizing everything he did because of the way he was doing things? Or you just think it was the private jet thing that you don't think that anything had contributed to that?
I don't think it was just about a lifestyle. It's just that people just wanted to come to power, so they were just criticizing. Everybody has their own lifestyle. All right, the former president has his own celebrity lifestyle. He loves to be in the media. He loves to sing. He loves to play the football. He loves to do other things. But on the overall, there are other people in their own secret corners. They love what they do. It's just that they don't want to make it public. But if you follow them with the camera every day, they do some things that we don't really like. But it is just that those things are not on camera. So we should not judge people. We should not judge people by their lifestyle. We should judge people about what they did for the country. I think that's my own perspective.
Well, Mr. Arthur, I'm a little caught back on that. You said that the president was a celebrity. He loves to sing. So since we going in little passing on that singing thing, you approve of a president. We want President Bouaka to leave what's going on, the challenges in the country now, and go form a little, backdoor team and start every weekend to be having drum roll and but am I in the studio and doing whatever they want instead of taking care of the Liberian people business? Did you support that?
Who knows?
Yeah.
But do you know what the current president does for his relaxation?
Sleep.
I don't believe so. And he's a traditional man. I know there are some evenings where they will bring a lip palm wine. He calls some chiefs, elders, and other friends to sit down and play some country music, olden time music, and he relax. And it is medically advised. I don't think that the president is just somebody who will go sleep. He doesn't have any habit. I don't believe so.
Okay, thank you. Sandy?
Look, I wanted Fambula to be. I don't know why he's trying to escape. I told you earlier that Fambula is running away from Arthur. I don't know why.
Bad man.
No, I don't think so. It don't make it like that.
But look, first the Fambula sounds like some of our CDC brothers.
Yeah.
They would defend everything to the core. And sometimes when you start to defend everything, you start to sound funny. And that's how Fambula was even sounding. He's an astute, well-learned individual. But he could not put his sentences together because he knows that what he was defending is wrong. We came on this show. We beat President George Weah for flying private jet everywhere he went. We beat him. We campaigned against him on that. I'll be honest. I will apologize now personally to George Weah for my part that I play to beat him on this issue of private jet, because I now understand that it is actually important that our president have some entitlement to easy transportation across the world. And one of the ways to do that is to fly private. We talked about this thing before. To leave from Liberia to Nigeria, there is no direct flight. If you're leaving from Monrovia and going to Lagos, for instance, they have to either drop you down to Sierra Leone, they drop you to Ghana, they drop you to Ivory Coast. Those three countries are areas where they usually have layovers. You won't find direct flight from Monrovia going straight to Lagos. Your direct flight usually are from Monrovia to Ghana, Monrovia to Ivory Coast, Monrovia to Sierra Leone, or Guinea. In fact, I don't even know if we have a route from Liberia to Guinea or flight.
Guys, please share the show.
So it makes sense for presidents to get a private jet that will take them from Monrovia in less than 3 hours or less than 2 hours. You are in Lagos or Abuja, versus taking a public flight that will have to probably delay you in Ivory Coast for maybe 2, 3 hours, 4 hours before you can get to Lagos. And then with the 2, 3 hours, 4 hours that you are delaying Ivory Coast, you become the burden of Ivory Coast, because Ivory Coast now have to provide you security. You will not find President Bouaka just sitting on a waiting bench at an airport in Abidjan. Once he lands to Abidjan and he's waiting for his next flight, Ivory Coast will have to provide him security. So we understand that because of reasons like that, because of efficiency to travel around the world, it is important that President fly private jet. But our brothers on the UP cannot come here now and say it is good today, but it was bad yesterday.
Well, Cindy, you said that for speeders it is important, and we don't want the president to be sitting there and waiting. Sometimes, President, we are used to leave. Like, let's say they're having something 2 weeks from now. President, we will leave like today. What's the rush in that?
We saw Bouaka went to Abuja the last time, 1 week ahead of the African Summit. That was some part of last year. Probably you were not on the show that time. You were still trying to make up.
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah, you don't remember. You can only remember what happened yesterday.
No. Don't come here. I'm asking you a question. I'm the whole. Don't argue with me. When was this? Because I don't remember, but I remember vividly. President used to take sometimes 2 weeks.
Go by me, please.
Just to go to Ghana, 1 week, just to attend or something in Nigeria or Ghana. Or
those that remember will remember. There was a trip, and that same trip.
Let me lay my question, please.
You eating my time.
Well, I have to engage with you.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh boy, kind me. So so like I'm saying, we used to see like places like Ghana and Nigeria is a 1 day thing. People will go after the ceremony, you get on the plane, you go back. That wasn't President Weah's memo or MO or whatever it is. Do you think, like the same question I asked Arthur, do you think these things, his life, the way he was doing things, that's why people were bashing him about his private jet thing? If President Weah would have got in the plane to go attend a program in Ghana and come right back the same day, you think that it was going to be a problem? People was going to have problem with these private jet thing?
I am not going to focus on President Weah.
Well, we're comparing it too, so we have to focus on it.
No, here's the thing. I'm not going to be like Fambule, who's trying to know what is happening now and still shifting blame on the past. This has nothing to do with President Weah lifestyle. President Weah, every trip he went on, he defended. We were on the opposition side saying that his defense were lies. We were saying that the trips he made, we actually said the man went to see his son play. The man said apart from that game, there were other event that he had to attend. But we were arguing here. We said the man took whole month out to go watch his son play. That was our debate. But the man said there were other important events he had to attend. The same way President Bouaka is now arguing that he had to fly private jet because there are events he had to attend, things that benefit the country. I am not going to compare Weah to Bouaka. What I'm going to say here is this. It is important, having recognized how difficult it is to travel around Africa, especially. Having recognized that, because I travel around Africa a lot, and I know it's tough to travel around that region. So yes, I agree with President Weah yesterday. Now, I agree with President Bouaka today that our leaders should be entitled to some efficient travel method. And that efficient travel method is for presidents to be allowed to fly private. The debate, the question whether Liberia should have her own plane, yes. Liberia should have a plane. It is a shame that Sierra Leone have a plane, then we don't have a plane. It's a shame that Guinea have a plane and we don't have one. Rwanda have several planes and we don't have one. Liberia is a rich country. Liberia can afford airplane. We need to prioritize things, reduce unnecessary spending, cut the budget from those noise makers that we call lawmakers, and rotate that money, move it into other things. Liberia had planes before the war. We can afford planes. We can start with maybe we can start with commercial airlines, and with that commercial airline we can maybe acquire one small jet. You know, maybe we'll buy 5-6 commercial planes and we acquire one small jet. And we use that jet primarily for our leaders, meaning the presidency.
Thank you, Sandy.
We can afford that.
Thank you.
No, let me end here. The last time our president went to ECOWAS meeting, this is funny, but it's not a joke. The last time when ECOWAS met in Abuja, Sierra Leone president showed up in a plane that rated the Republic of Sierra Leone. Africa's president showed up in a plane that said they are the people of Cote d'Ivoire. Ghana president showed up that said plane of the Republic of Ghana or Republic of Ghana. Liberia president showed up with plane that said Asala Beta.
That is okay.
Bouaka showed up with an airplane that said Asala Beta. It is a shame.
Yeah.
We need our own airplane. Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry, thank you for joining us. On this discussion, what do you say about this? Why you at it? Do you think if Liberia should come out now, President Bouaka should come out and go to the legislature for a budget for Liberia to buy their own plane? Do you think the citizen would take it lightly, or the opposition now would not then realize that Liberia has all these things that are wrong with it that we should be focusing on instead of a private jet or a plane for the presidency?
Well, thank you. Let me begin by saying good evening, Sandy and Dr. Family, and to everyone that watching. I thought as well.
Please share this show, please, and subscribe to our YouTube. Sorry.
Over this past period of time, we has been a victim of information, whether you can call it disjointed, whether you can call it whatsoever adjective you want to use on some information that was being given to us as regard to certain issue. And I don't want to appear that saint on this issue or to say maybe we were not part of those that discussed the issues back then. But when you look at issues surrounding governance and some other procedure that have had to do with how we make progress with certain things, information dissemination has been one thing that we've been sort of in our governance space. And I'm not only leaving this on the George Weah or whichever administration, because you're seeing people being more reactive when it comes to certain issue than being proactive when it comes to giving the facts around these issues. So when you have a deputy minister for press and propaganda for the government, he's not communicating the way in which he had to communicate. I'm just
It's
being a
press and
public
affairs, not propaganda.
Yeah, public affairs. Thank you for that correction. So, if you had a minister of such, whether in the past or current, he only feel good to be reactive to opposition, then you expect opposition to speculate, right? And that has been something that we've been facing in our country. Now, we're talking about private jets. What are some of the basic information we got in the past as related to how president should be, ride private jet? What are some of the necessities attached to private jet? Now, you want to understand that it is good for a president to always ride private jet, because somebody talk about his security, somebody talk about a compliance in line with some diplomatic meeting that you need to have out there, and you don't want to delay your friends, and all these factors come with it. But then we were not educated on some of these things, and we nobody will want to say, "Oh, I did not talk about this issue. I'm free for it." No, we criticize President Weah a lot about using private jets on some of those trips. Now, having been, because there's always this saying that when you are in opposition, you never seen what is in government, but when you are in government, you never seen what is in opposition. So
who says that?
On that, he said, "Who says that?" I mean, it's always the usual thing.
That's his own.
Sometimes people do it. Sometimes people do it intentionally. Let's be clear, right? There are people who serve in government. They know that president should ride private jet, but they will criticize it because they want to get some political point. Why? But that's the usual, happenings in Liberia. People always do this. Even now, the CDC that we criticize yesterday about private jet, when they are to be in government, another opposition come and criticize them about private jet, knowing it that president should ride private jet, they will defend it, right? They defend and being acting like loyal to certain group has made Liberia not made progress. But now, on the issue of private jet, it is not bad for a president to use private jet. Like I said, we are part of those criticism. Oh, president, we have ride private jet, other things. But I've been coming to the realization that it is good to ride private jets on certain diplomatic, trip, or whether a preference treatment the president wanting to have in another country. I mean, it is good that we come up publicly to educate our Liberian people. What is the reason our president should be riding private jet? Like you asked a question about whether we should have our own private jet. Yes, there are more African countries around the world, they have theirs. And sometimes it is too many spending on the government, right? If you have your own private jet, there are some expenses that you will do on that private jet, not be as compared to getting it from another company or another airline, right? So it's a good thing to have private jet for our president, right, in Liberia. But here's the thing: in the past, we actually criticize this thing with less of education. Sometimes some of us in our political move, and at a certain point in time, the discussion escalated in a heated time of political changes. So people sometimes we did not come to those conversations with realization that yes, this should not be completely political, because in Liberia always everything's that sometimes we should see other politics. We always attach our political feelings.
No, sorry, I'll ask you the same question I asked Cindy, right? Private jets, we see people like Malabio and other president that goes to programs, like Ghana president and other people. They go to those programs and come after the program, they get back on our private jets. I think those are some of the reasons for private jets, right? And go right back to that country. Now, fast forward to President Weah. That wasn't the case. Do you think President Weah takes some of the blame here for people criticizing him? Because if you had a private jet, you fly in a private jet, you go into these distances, and it's only like 2 hours or 3 hours, and then you're leaving a couple of days or weeks earlier, and don't come back after the program. I mean, what is that? Do you think he takes some of the blame here too?
Yeah, like when I proceeded, I said people have certain positions, but they don't put it into use. Now, but then when we were in our position, we criticized a lot of things because the kind of information was not coming. And at certain point, even when the information comes, like I said, when you're in your political mood, you see nothing, you don't want to see nothing a little bit bright from the other side. That is why I said when people are in government and when you're in opposition, it's not the same. There are things that you see when you're in government, it's quite different from when you're in opposition. Especially for first-time servers in government, but there are most of our people who numb in the Unity Party government. I think they knew about some of these things. Now, when we came out to criticize
doing these things, we see other presidents doing these things. So why should we be in government before we know that a president can go 2 hours distance with a private jet, and after the program, get back on the plane and go back home? We see other presidents doing it. Why should we have to be in government before we know that what President Weah is doing?
So you could think in your mind that President Weah should have just gone to certain street and just come back. You could think that. But then the government could think that it is necessary for the president to have leave here to have some conversation with other people. Well, you could talk about the time issue, how many days he spent there. I mean, I don't know the protocol. I don't know how the protocol used to work. But it's necessary. I mean, there are a lot of things we discuss and criticize, but then I think those are things that are happening currently. You want to discuss the length of time? President Weah could choose, President Bouaga now could choose to go Ghana for certain summit and spend 1 or 2 days there and come back. President Weah did, he spent 5 days. I mean, like I said, there was no sufficient information as to why he's spending 5 days about some of these things. So at the end of the day, you must speculate on most of the things. But in regards to governance, it was necessary that the president, former President Weah, left there and do some of these things. Now, we talk about the president leaving, because one of the instances that I can remember we badly criticized a lot was when he went for that, I think, summit, but he left there like 4 weeks to 3 to 4 weeks. I think 1 month, he left there. People said he left the country 1 month. No, there was no detailed information. Why is the president we are out of the country 1 complete month? So at the end of the day, we came up via platform, we criticized it. So I'm not more of, I don't want to be doing comparison with why is it he spent 5 days there and why is it President Bouaga now is spending 2 or 3 days there. The concept behind private jet, or the reality, the honesty behind a president using private jet, it comes to a lot. Like you and myself talk about it. I think I don't talk about it, Cindy talk about it. You look at the security implication, you look at how that mission should be accomplished within a time frame, because there's a lot of things around some of these things when you're not in government. I will always say when you're not in government, there are things you will not see. But when you are in the necessity of certain things, you will see.
So thank you. Sorry, I know we all saying, some people are saying, oh, I don't want to compare. It's impossible to say here and say you don't want to compare with this topic, President Weah and President Bouaga, because that's why we're talking about it. President Weah was criticized, and President Bouaga now is doing some of the things that President Weah was criticized for.
Look, let me say something.
You tell us, what else? Okay, how can you tell us that you don't want to compare? Then why are we discussing it? Because that's why it's coming up. If we criticize it then, why is President Bouaga now doing it? So yes, that criticism, that comparison is there. You cannot run away from it. And for the whole point of the private jet thing is that the president to be like this, fast with everything. So if you have a private jet and you go, some of the information where the private jet will go pack and wait for you and do all of this time and something, and we've seen other presidents around the same region go, even with program in Liberia, they will come after the program, they get on the jet, they go back. Why? What is so important that President Weah is doing so much, or President Bouaga, if he does that, would be doing that he cannot, if he's using a private jet, he cannot do the same trip that other president with their own planes are doing. it's still costing the country money. So we can't say we will not compare. No, we have in this topic, we are comparing the two presidents in that riot of private jets. So go ahead, Famula.
So we put our finger down for a sec.
30 seconds.
So
I want to be a very student.
So this private jet issue, I don't want to dwell on it a lot because we all have said what needed to be.
You're gonna stuttering today, Famula. Or is this topic
is
shocking you?
Is it breaking up or what?
No, when I say you stuttering, you finding out how to get your words out. Is this topic
because I see the substance to be infinitesimal to the existing reality. The old man already understand that, and Gerard is a PhD student, so he understand that. Look, I am not going to waste my time on things that we all saw. The proliferation and the consistent nature of at which Georgia, in the place at which Georgia was using the private jet, that was the reason why people were criticizing that. Look, CDC and Unity Party, both of them, both presidents, given the nature of how the country has been run, should have clearly stated to the Liberian people the importance of private jet. That is the reason why this time around you can see the difference between the previous government and this government. One, this government is structured in a way that every little thing that is done on behalf of the country is out there. The government is open, and people are seeing exactly all of the workings of the president.
So, in other words, we should consider President Bouaga because he's telling us the necessity of private jets, and President Weah did not do the same.
Look, you can explain that in your own tone.
No, I'm asking you because it seems like
I mean, you can say it that way, but I'm saying it in a way that the information that this government is giving out there is clear and clearer than the previous administration. They were not saying anything, and more besides, this the previous administration, they were waste, especially some of the trips were not necessary, especially the one that the Liberian people heard, and it got disappointed when programs were planned and the president taking 2 weeks in advance and having detour, stopping along the way to see some things that to meet some places where that was not part of the trip, and he spent a couple of days there. That was the concern that Liberian people raised. Look, President Bouaga said it, and I'll stand right by the president. We are trying as much as possible not to waste the resources of this country. So we will run private jet only when it is necessary. So now it takes me back to the argument that I said earlier that Liberia is old enough, and this issue of private jet is something that we should not even be discussing it at this level. That's I'm quoting now Senator Dillon. Senator Dillon said, "We apologize to the Liberian people that this issue about the private jet, George Weah administration that will beat on them, did not tell the Liberian people exactly the importance of the private jet. But now we're seeing that the private jet is important. So I'm apologizing on behalf of myself and other people who beat on George Weah for riding private jet."
Thank you.
But is it necessary now for we the legislature to look into it, to bring forward to plenary that Liberia should own her own jet, not only just for JMB but for the nation? So just in case there are other functions that the government have other people to go on, so that we can make use of it. Is it a necessity for the country? Yes, Liberia is old enough. We should have something like that of that nature, so that it will minimize the cost of and the security implication that put the president's life at risk and other hard government officials at risk going on trip on behalf of the government. So I mean, there's the conversation that we should start having now, that lawmakers should look into it and bring forth issues that pertain to the country, not that serve individual interests.
Thank you. Go ahead, sorry.
You sometimes want me to discuss from the compare and contrast another way,
That's what we're doing here with this topic.
The way which I wishes to discuss. If it was wrong yesterday, it should be wrong today. it will stay in our political move. I mean, let me be sincere to with some of the conversation. Governor in a space, for me, I mean, I'm a student of politics and administration. Governor in a space, mostly people just look at it from the broad perspective of politics. And you don't want to look at the administrative aspect of it. And at the end of the day, you always want to put yourself in priority. Like I said, most of us, if not all of us, discuss the private jet issue, basically not really from the issue about the day he spent there. We talk about wasteful spending, right? So how can we talk about wasteful spending? That it was a wasteful spending that the president used to go and spend sort of thing. I mean, a lot of things we talk about the private jet, but mostly we talk about wasteful spending because looking at the kind of economy we have back then, how Liberian was suffering, we criticize most of these things. We said it was not necessary for president. We have to have gone certain trade. So, I mean, and I talk about less education as well. Most of us, we did not have the clear understanding as to why president should, sometimes be in private jet and traveling to the business area. And I'm clear, I don't want to compare and contrast because you know what? President Weah was kicked out of office because some of the things he did, was not necessary. We thought in our mind that using private jet back then was wrong. So there is no level of defense now we can put on. And, in regards to wanting to compare and contrast with the two. I don't see it necessary. It's just to educate our people that every president now should use private jet moving forward. What can we do to have our own? That's the conversation we should be having.
Thank you. Sandy, you want 30 seconds or?
I think Ato should go. I see him struggling there. Is Lady Liberian. So go ahead, Ato. Energize yourself.
That's true. That's true. Keeping these kinds of hours is a little bit challenging, but we have to do it for the sake of the country, and we have the time. And I think I love the show. Granted that I never had the opportunity to continue with the show in the past, but like the brother said, I think this new dispensation. I said yesterday that the Ellen generation and that of the Weah generation, I think those two generations of leadership will meet its end by 2029. After 2029 election and 2036, we have a whole new breed of people coming out to discuss some of the national issues and finding some solutions to the national problems. So we cannot be able to start having the conversation when we are wrong now. We try to be in that kind of militant posture, trying to defend it. Not everything that the former president did, especially on his tour, that Liberian people embraced. But one thing that was very clear was that everybody criticized the idea about the private jet. It was expensive, taking the country money away, even when the president said that most of those trips he made, he had friends who could just tell him, look, anytime so long you're president for this country, anytime you're ready to travel, tell me, I will send my private jet for you. And granted, yes, it may not be too good, but also when we look at it, sometimes your friend can tell you, come and get my car and go to some place at my expense. Sometimes it will be also at both win-win. You do something, I do something, yes. We can say it that way. But if the current president will be riding a jet, like you are saying, some of these companies that are here, they have their own private jet, and the president is traveling and he's trying to use the company jet, but the former president, couldn't use his friend's jet. But what the hypocrisy is about? We must be open up to this debate and face it squarely. That it was wrong yesterday, it is wrong today, but we must correct it by getting our own private jet, which we support. We are not come here and say, look, the government should not buy a private jet. Private jet is necessary. I said it I don't really remember about President Doe, but I know that yes, Tolva had his own private jet. I know Doe too had, he had jets, but I don't know. I don't want to be very clear about Doe, but I saw in documentary when President Tolva used to travel, he actually traveled a lot on his private, the country own jet, and that which you must be able to do like yesterday.
Thank you.
So for my 30 second, I mean, again, our brother here acknowledged that it's important for presidents to have a private jet, but he want to continue in the campaign move, going back to President George Weah and trying to justify that it's good for President Boakai to have it, but it was bad for President Weah to have it, stating that President Weah overstayed his time on some of the trips. Look, let us all just acknowledge that our president's name private jet, period. We should do away with the deception. It is difficult to travel across Africa, period. You do not expect President Boakai, President Weah, or any other president, even vice president, to be sitting somewhere at some airport waiting for a flight to take them or some delayed flight. We don't want that. That poses a security issue. So it is important for them to travel on private jets.
Cindy, I got a question.
I may have an answer.
Okay. So, yeah, I'm finding it a little disturbing that all of you are saying that we shouldn't dwell on the timing and all of that. If you charter a taxi, right, and you charter a taxi for one day, the price is different from when you charter it for 1 week. Is that right?
Go ahead.
Yes or no? I want a yes or no before I move.
Yes, it is right.
Okay. So if I'm saying that, okay, private jet might not be such a bad idea, but should you leave 2 weeks before the event that you're going for?
But here's it.
Come back 1 week or 5 days after. Isn't that the same wasteful spending we're talking about? It's not about a private jet now, but you're renting that jet from what, day to day?
No.
So why would you say that we shouldn't talk about the timing? We should not talk about the fact that we need money. Is that doing justice to the conversation?
Look, no one from George Weah administration to this current administration that have given you an exact figure for renting any of those private jets. I haven't seen it. Well, listening, I'm coming to a point, I haven't seen it. President Weah told you his friend gave him a jet that was assigned with him. It was only us that was speculating that because the jet was parking in Liberia or assigned with him, that he was spending a lot of money. We did not see any figure. We were only speculating. President Boakai now, the private jet he carrying around, he has not shown us any figure of how much he's spending, whether it's staying with him for 1 day, whether he's coming back in 1 second. We have not seen any figure. Until we can debunk Weah statement that jet was given to him and that he was not spending the kind of money we thought he was spending, it remains a speculation. So let me agree with Weah for 1 second and say the private jet was actually given to him by his friend, and all he needed to do was maintenance. So if the man was not paying back and forth that it was given to him, then it won't cost the country that much.
Mm-hmm.
Then it won't cost the country that much. He could go out and spend 2-3 months. It won't cost the country that much because he wasn't paying monthly fees or he wasn't paying every time he took it out of country. According to him, it was donated to him. It was given to him. President Boakai must also now show us how much he's spending to go. While the jet is staying only 1 day, he must show us what is he giving Asala Meta, what is he giving Meta Steel that he's using, the Beer Mountain that he's using their plane to go to the West African Summit. What is he giving them? Until we can also see that.
What President Weah giving his friend for that? for giving him a whole airplane to sit there in Liberia for him to moving back.
We need both of them to tell us.
I just wanted to highlight quickly. I just wanted to highlight something. I mean, I think the Minister of State has all these records, and the Finance Ministry can be able to highlight those records. It will not take us any time if the Ministry of Finance can be able to put out some documents and for the Ministry of State and say, look, the former president, we are over the last 6 years, we were able to spend this amount, and for the last few travels from the current president, we were able to spend this amount. I think most of the speculations in this government is hoping, like as she claims to be, let them make some of these documents public. These are from the records, and then it'll kill all these speculations about the former president. We are spending more money than him spending more money. I think it will be clear.
Exactly. I agree. Let's move on.
Yeah.
The Unity Party people cannot hang us back.
I see that we calling you a yellow machine. We go be calling you party people now because when you're trying to do diligence to the conversation, you want to bring party in. So we'll be calling you party man now too. Let's move on to our MPA boss, Mr. Sekou Doucle. I don't know if you guys have heard, and I sent you there's something today about him being on a fire, investigation about duping a Chinese businessman of $5 million. So it's just a little piece. Let me read it. The NPF National Port Authority Managing Director Sekou Hassan Doucle has landed in hot water after being accused of duping a Chinese investor out of $5 million in a tangling web of forgery, theft, and aggravated assault. Oh, I didn't see that part. A confident legal complaint obtained by our news detective Dex reviewed that Doucle allegedly swindled Chinese businessman Mr. Lee. I will call him. I don't want to do that, but I don't know how to pronounce the man name. Let's call him Dan. A major investor in AM Doucle Investment Group after its supposed multi-session partnership turned sour. According to the document submitted by J. Johnny Momo, an associate legal chamber, Mr. Doucle allegedly. So this is a Chinese the Chinese businessman lawyer now writing this. Took 1.1 million under the pretext of acquiring mining licenses. Diverted another 2.5 million meant for a mineral water bottle plant. And he requested and received luxurious goods, including Rolex watches, business class tickets, home renovations, and more. By his friend, he, asked for the businessman to do it for him and his friends. And then we saw that they said he seized the property and equipment of the Chinese investor, deny him access to his own water plant. And then Mr. Doucle now is they say he's allegedly manipulated another Chinese businessman to file a countersuit against this businessman that he's alleging of duping of $5 million. Guys, this is a little bit, touching when I read this story, and I wanted us to talk about it because these are some of the places that we are in our country today. And this is not, something to Mr. Doucle, but we heard it a lot with our government officials, most of the time. Investors coming in and we hearing these kind of stories. What is this doing to our country? If this is any truth that, this is really happening, what is it doing to our country? And why Liberian people are there? Oh, we don't have any investors coming in. We need jobs. We got to do this. The government is not doing it. And then you have people that are working in government who are supposed to be, channeling the government agenda of providing job, or bringing these companies producing jobs and stuff for the people. And we're hearing things like this, that they are doing stuff like this, so business or investors are coming in. What is this I mean, what is it doing to our country? I just want us to talk about it. And we'll start with you. Where am I?
Start with me again, family. I'll be happy. Start with me.
Family, please be quiet. Let me do the lineup. Senior and of course, no, go ahead. Go
All
on.
right, thank you very much. No, I'm not like Vasco. I don't make noise. I only raise qualms.
Okay.
All right. So, look, like how the Supreme Court always says, don't base her argument based on speculation.
Mhm.
This is an allegation. And right now, if we come up now and beef up and make kind of an analysis around it, it kind of put the case here and in a kind of bracket that people will start to already prejudge. Look, I don't want to go too much into that. The Liberian government knows, and everybody who works in government should know that it is fundamentally wrong for anyone to work in government and have hands in foreign investment. They have their laws on there are laws on the book that prohibit that. But because it's an allegation, you just read it and said he is alleged that, and reading from a news
Okay, so
outlet.
I don't want to read a whole something,
Yeah.
but this is a court filing document that this man
Until if anything that is placed before the court.
I'm coming. He's saying that he has every documentations to whatever claims that have been made. And this is what I ask you. In case this story is true, okay, what are we looking at? Because I don't want to say, oh, it's fast and not fast, but I don't think a strange Chinese businessman would just come from China and come and file a lawsuit against somebody with something that is something that did not happen at all. I don't want to, and I'm pretty sure you don't want to believe that either. But go ahead.
I will use President Bouaka too. This country is a country of law and order. If there's any issue that you have, you take it to the court. And it's the court that has the statutory responsibility to adjudicate these cases. This is a case. This case is an allegation, and people can come up with whatsoever document, and anything that is put before the case cannot be prejudged by us sitting out here, and we cannot determine whether this person was wrong or not.
You always talk about other cases. Why should we not talk about this one?
I mean, this case involved so many things. I said we can just talk about it, but we cannot talk about it the way you want us now to discuss it. No, I'm not going to discuss Sekou Douklé because he's saying what it means for other.
Yes, if this is true, what does it mean for our country?
It means bad. And President Bouaka, once the facts is presented and the evidence is out there, is very clear, President Bouaka will take action. And that's the reason why I say, let me use my President Bouaka too. This country is a country of law. People should not be having any look until we stop this individual thing where people must have hands in certain things. This is the same thing that McGill did in the past. That investors will come in and they will have to pass through his office. We heard the stories that you have to see McGill. And sometimes, many at times, we heard information about President. We are referring some of those people go and see McGill or see Fina. So we don't want nothing to continue to happen in our country.
You make your talk without mentioning we are.
Hey, my man, give me a minute, man. I know that Southeastern brother. In the end, I think you can't say it. We're not discussing Southeastern solidarity. I'm discussing what we heard. So since we're basing on allegation, and it was alleged. That's what I'm saying. I say it was alleged that people said what President Weah used to say. So that's it. So until Liberia can forget about it too much of kickback, the kickback business started way back. Everybody won't get kickback, and that is the reason why the country is not developing. And today, people get involved in those things, and in the end, they're going to pay their surrogates to come out to defend them. And this is where community and vigilante group are formed to defend their thief. Once this community got one thief somewhere, they build their own men to go defend them. And this is not what the Liberian people want. If we
Thank
say
you
we
so
want
much.
change in Liberia, things that are meant to, incriminate people or make the country or put the country image in a negative direction, people should refrain from that. Look, Sekou Dugbe was a businessman. Everybody knows that he was he went into business before he came in to work in government. But the conflict of interest issue that the government spoke about is clear and the laws are there. So if he goes through the court, since the case is before the court, I cannot say anything much about it. Sekou Dugbe is innocent. They can go there and adjudicate themselves according to the law. Thank you. That's where I start.
Sorry, you want to come in? Oh, should we just take Arthur because he's in Liberia? He got a little. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know. I know. Right. Yeah, I know. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I think the concept about Mr. Dugbe, Mr. Dugbe issue is a very complicated issue, so especially with the government, because if you really look at some of those guys that came from, or some of those leaders that came from those United States to Liberia to serve, most of the claim was that they did a lot of support to the Unity Party during the campaign. So there is a lot of soft spots to some of the things that they do in the country. If somebody tells you that under the former government, a put manager could build a very big factory right across between Maserati and Bombay, very big factory on your right, and it is not in the news.
I think
People
that's
are not talking about it.
I think that's the one that in question.
Yeah. I built that kind of factory, and it is not in the news. People did not talk about it, except when this information came about. It tells you that a lot of soft spots for some of those guys. But the reality is, that's how most of the business guys in this country, they continue to damage the image of this country. If you look at for the Honorable Musa Ability in the last government, he and his Shimex, I think they had similar kind of situation where they had a contract. I mean, they had an agreement to build farms and petrol farms where they would be able to bring these petroleum.
It's funny you brought that up.
On, it was it came about and it was very much difficult. We took him to court, but because of his own political alignment and all the kind of things, he had to win the case. So similar thing, the Chinese men would try, but on the overall, like I said, Mr. Dugbe and other people have soft spots in Liberia, so they'll make their way around it and succeed. But what it does to the country is that it scares investors, and if we don't see people coming into the country to support what we have, people see a lot of negative things about our country. It is because the way our leaders are behaving, and I don't think it's not good for the country. So we all must condemn the initially because it's allegation. But on the overall, I don't think that it should be even about allegation. Mr. Dugbe or any other Liberian bringing investors into this country to work with, to not allow those investors to start a cry. We work with them and make sure you guys succeed. That will encourage other investors to come back into this country. Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry.
Yeah, thank you. The reason Senator McGay and some former officials of government were essential because of some of these things that are happening. Liberia has been a country where people use power to abuse the very opportunity that has been given them. And I mean, I'm not in any way implying, but there are implying that Sekou Dugbe is at the center point of any corruption because, like other of us say, or other are saying, I mean, it is an allegation. There are documents there to prove that. You can write some of the communication below There are documents there to prove some of those instances that took place until to where are we today. Mr. Dukley has been, don't forget to know, Mr. Dukley has been at the centerpiece of controversies. Some are political attack, some attacking because maybe he's serving government. But now we're talking about investor coming in country, and all of you can agree with me that Liberia has been one country that has suffered from people that has been given opportunity to serve in certain position. They abuse it. They do all sort of things to seek their own interest. Now, my brother scratch a very point when you talk about conflict of interest. I don't think anybody should. There's a law that prohibits one being in government and having investment, in government as well. It comes with a lot of conflict of interest. When you want to serve in government at that level, you have to, transfer your names and all those visiting to another person as a CEO, as the owner of that company, right? It's wrong to be in government to do some of these things. But because there's one thing in Liberia that I think all of us will not disagree with. Like I said, people have used their position to abuse some of these things. Like Brother Arthur scratched a very point. People feel very comfortable that they have certain proximity, they have certain power and their impact, then in campaign, they cannot be fired for certain positions. So they do things wrongfully. That, okay, I will maintain this status, nothing will come from out of here. But what we want to say, if this case have to go to court, and it's proven that Mr. Dukley, and there are documents to show that Mr. Dukley was actually involved into what is happening, I mean, it does not make sense that the president should keep him. I think he should be called to investigation, like what happened to the LTA director, Mr. Kamara, though it took some time.
Sorry, like Mr. Arthur said, right? Like he said in referencing Mr. Billy, do you think that this Chinese businessman, like you and I already read all of these documentation that they claim to have, do you think this man will get a fair trial in Liberia? Like at the point that he's being accused, right? Of Mr. Dukley is actually accusing him now of duping him. Like this man is a businessman that comes from China. He's not something in Liberia. Do you think he will get like from the connection and all of that? Like Mr. Dukley is a Liberian. He works in the government. He knows these people. Do you think this man stand a chance to a fair trial or for winning anything at all?
I think he should have a fair trial. I think the justice system should do him well. If he found guilty, or Mr. Dukley found guilty, they should take the necessary punishment, because that would set the precedent for encouraging other local or international investors to come in our country. Because when you feel threatened by a director or a person who's serving government, and at the end of the day, nothing come out of it, that Chinese man will have to go out there and not encourage other people to come in. And don't forget to know that China has been very influential when it comes to instrumental. I mean, when it comes to developing our nation. You can talk about a lot of things China have done. Sometimes people will say they were not really that concrete, but I mean, most of the things happen because China has a good relationship with you. And don't forget to know, I think China just renewed, from a diplomatic standpoint, renew her relationship with Liberia from a different trust point, talking about bringing investment. Because when you follow the summit that they had in China just this time, I don't know which nomenclature it was actually on, but I think China reaffirmed their support to Liberia and trying to do a lot of things on Liberia. So when you train a national from that country, and all we talking now is an allegation, but some of these speculations in Liberia, you don't want to take it for granted, because at the end of the day, it is true, right? So we want to discuss it for a little political understanding of things, but I think people should be fairly treated in Liberia, because you don't want to set a precedent where other people will be afraid of coming in Liberia. You talk about investment coming in Liberia for Liberians to work. Those are places that you should actually look at, because Don't forget to know. Chinese come in Liberia to invest. They communicate with other people to say, okay, this grant
Right.
is very safe for investment. You know,
Thank you.
I mean, they want to communicate with other people who has more bigger hand than them to come in our country to invest. And I think people should not use that. All of what has been said until proven beyond all reasonable doubt by the competent court of jurisdiction. I think all its allegations, but I think there are instances that you and myself can talk about that people were sanctioned, people has been abused, and that are video footage and other evidence to it in the past that should show, and that is not only restricted to
Thank
what
you.
is happening right now in the administration. It's a usual things that are happening in Liberia, but I think people should not turn on this part.
Okay. Sandy, this is our country is calling for investors, our people needing jobs, and people are coming in. We're hearing things like this, and we're treating it as an allegation, but we all know no strange person will come from Japan and come to Liberia and accuse one of our government officials of, duping them. There's no truth in it, right? And the lawyers are saying they have all of the documentations and all of that. So that's why it disturbed me about this story. But anyway, Cindy, go ahead with your go ahead. You're muted, dude.
Oh, okay. I was muted. Thank you. No, we're just saying thank you. And you're right. We come on these shows every time asking for investment. We're asking for investors to go to Liberia, asking for tourism, asking for people to go to Liberia and help our people. We are begging private investors to take private jobs to Liberia. And then you see news like that. And our brother is saying that, well, these are just families saying this is just an accusation. We agree. But we're talking about an accusation that is worth over 5 million United States dollars.
Absolutely.
With several scandalous activities pointed out. 1.1 million taken on the pretense of acquiring mining licenses. 1.1 million that this guy took allegedly that he's acquiring mining licenses. 2.5 million that he diverted from a mineral water bottling venture.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this brother, I agree, is better businessman. But part of this investigation will also look at his lavish personal expenditure that the Chinese guy has pointed out in his case. So look, this is a serious matter. It is a serious matter. If this case is verified through legal channels, it's a major governance and investment scandal. It will impact both the governance and our investment community. Okay, it could have a far-reaching implications for Liberia.
Mm-hmm.
There are multiple potential violations criminal violations that have been mentioned here. The allegations that involve fraud, theft of property, misrepresentation, abuse of office, and potentially this guy could also be charged for money laundering. So if these are true, Dukley could face serious charges. And he could, face imprisonment and maybe some of the assets could be seized. Maybe some of his assets could be seized. Look, this issue has some international legal sensitivity attached to it. This is involving a Chinese national and someone who is an investor. This could trigger diplomatic concerns. It could trigger diplomatic concerns. We know that China is Liberia's key development partner. We know that. China is Liberia's key development partner. And cases like this one risks straining that relationship. It risks it.
Mm-hmm.
So our judicial credibility is at stake here. It is at stake. Our judicial credibility is at stake here.
Mm-hmm.
The integrity of Liberian legal system will be tested. Will be tested based on how transparent and how swift this investigation will be handled. Hopefully, they will not use this guy's political office to,
To manipulate it.
to manipulate the system, the process, and to, abuse this Chinese guy. I mean, they should look at the facts. But there is bad optics here.
It is.
What the president need to do, though, the president need to suspend Sekou Doucle pending investigation.
I think so too.
That suspension should come immediately. That will help to uphold the principle of due process without interference.
Mm-hmm.
The president can issue an executive order placing Doucle on administrative leave until the investigation is complete. The message they're going to send out, it will send a very clear message that no official is above the law. And that the government will not shield anyone from accountability. You are not dismissing him, but in this case, you should suspend him pending investigation.
Yeah.
There is a need for the president to also mandate a joint independent investigation, or that can be done by the judicial branch. They need to mandate a joint independent investigation. They should form a task force that should comprise the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission, LACC, the National Police, the Ministry of Justice, and some credible civil, service society observer to form this joint independent investigation to ensure independence and transparency in this process. This is big. We're talking about top Liberian government officials being involved in over $5 million scandal. I'll even go further by asking for international technical assistance. Because this involves an international investor.
And Cindy, this is not about, I know other people may be seeing it as you got to protect the person because you work for the government. I support this government, right? But this had a big blow to Liberia, right? This is not about Sekou right now. It's not about him. It's about the country as a whole. Because if this thing is going, like we said, we already have an incident that happened before, and it's shooting kids, God forbid. This go in a way that they manipulate this whole thing, and this man goes away crying. I mean, this is like a stain on Liberia, like you already said.
It will send a bad image out there.
So this is not about Sekou. I agree with you. The government should go ahead, the president should go ahead and suspend him and try to put some seriousness in this investigation.
Yeah, and let me enter this quick. And Francis Harris, I'm not asking for the president to dismiss him. Suspension is different from dismissal. The brother can be suspended to protect interference, to prevent interference. If the brother is in his position, there could be some level of interference. The reason you suspend people when they are accused of major issues like this is to prevent interference. So suspend him pending investigation. Once the investigation is done, if he's found guilty, obviously he's not coming back to work. But if he's not found guilty, you bring him back to work. But for us to protect the image of our country, we need to take this matter very serious. Now, the president campaigned on integrity and change. Mm-hmm. He campaigned on integrity and change. And so if he fails to act swiftly, this case could severely damage his credibility. So I hope that the president will act, and I hope that clear investigation, independent investigation will take place so we can get to the bottom of this case. Thank you.
Absolutely, and I agree with you. So I think as everybody already had a say on this case, and we hope and pray that the government will do the right thing and not try to, shield anyone who's trying to damage the country image. It may not be circled today. Tomorrow, somebody might want to try the same thing. It's something like this happening, and it's not right for you to do that with people that coming in the country. Sure, in case this was true, without high-end money, looking for places to invest, you should be encouraging them to make the government to succeed, not helping for the government to fail. And then when the opposition doing it, you want to point it out. But when you yourself within the same government, you undermining your own government by doing stuff like this. And if we have laws on the board, according to Family, the laws are not obviously over the years. The laws have not been working the way we thought it would, right? That's why some people got sanctioned, like McGill and other stuff. And this is an example of exactly what they said they were doing. So we cannot shield that because of a government that we support now is happening in it. No, I think it's wrong. So moving on to our last topic, and we want to talk about it. We were supposed to talk about it yesterday, but we missed on it. So we'll just pass away, Cindy. 1 second. So we are moving on to the Capitol building case again. This is our favorite case in the country right now because we all care about what happened with that whole investigation. This young man named John Nyanti, I hope I'm saying it right. He was one of the persons that was, named as the person that was connected to these lawmakers, right, from the beginning of the case. But when it happened, when the Capitol building got burned, it was alleged that he fled the country. He fled the country, and when he was on the run, so he was extradited back to Liberia a couple of days ago, and he's going through court process proceeding now. He's making he's telling the press that the government is paying him. Well, first of all, his sister had a press conference with the CDC at the CDC headquarters. By the way, he's a CDC. That the government paid her brother $50,000 to lie on Speaker Kofa, and they have already given him $2,000. The young man was being transferred to court. He yelled out that the government paid him $200,000 to lie on Speaker Kofa. So this is where we are. This young man was named in the case from the previous guys that was captured. Should I say captured or arrested? The common people that were arrested. They named him, and he was nowhere in the country. He got extradited back to the country, and he's not making claims that the government is paying him to lie on these people here and so forth. So Sandy, looking at let me see if I had a video here to play. Let me see here. So yeah, Cindy, I think you can go ahead and chime in on this one while I try to find this clip to play of this guy. Let me see.
I saw the video where the gentleman.
Who engage you? Matt Amla, 106, 103, 1 ambassador, I just forgot what you need. Yeah, but almost 10 different government officials every day coming to my hotel. Last time, also hotel. What's my receiver? What they allowed last time now? So my receiver there, I need on it.
And since when you been in the country, the sex?
From the family. I should not call nobody out. No, you are not.
Because they said they have investigation. Any accusing people, they won't happen to escape.
It's a blatant lie. It's a lie coming from the belly of the devil. You get evidence, you don't get in 200,000 now. Imagine you are sitting there today.
Who engage you?
Matt Amla, 106.
Okay, Sandy. So there we are. We are with this. First, in the CDC press conference, the sister said that they didn't know that the brother has been extradited back to Liberia. But she knows that her brother was being bribed with $50,000, according to her. But she didn't know that her brother was back into the country. But she knows her brother is being bribed with $50,000, and he has been paid $2,000 already. And the brother is not saying $200,000. So I know in the US here we have when cases like this, people want they will, you know, authorities want you to give up the big fish, right? They will be trying to make a deal with you, right? To give up the big fish and stuff like that. Do you think that's what's going on here? And this guy is calling it bribing him to give up to lie on Speaker Kofa or something. What do you think about this? Or is there any truth in this from what is from his sister statement into his?
On this particular case, look, I will remain neutral as much as possible and allow the investigation to go on. But there are certain things that we have seen here so far.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing we should also talk about is the fact that the brother who escaped, allegedly ran away from Liberia to Ghana,
Mm-hmm.
was back into the country few days or days ago now, with no one knowing that he was back in the country, and that he was being kept, according to him, in a hotel, a luxury hotel, and being monitored in that hotel. If that is true, that's a red flag.
Why is that, Sandy?
Why was he kept in a hotel?
He's a suspect who was extradited back to the country.
Okay.
If he's not being like, is he supposed to be in in Islam or whatever?
Are you seriously asking me that?
Yeah, I'm asking you that.
Of suspect. So we don't have jail houses anymore. We don't have police cells anymore. We keep people in hotel. We keep suspects in hotels, luxury hotels. That's where we keep them.
What's the luxury hotel, by the way? Where was he?
The brother said he was being kept in a hotel. Is it? Nah. So are you saying that the brother said he was brought back to Liberia? Mm-hmm. He was being kept in a hotel, and in that hotel, that's where people were going, offering him money. That's what he was saying. And you are arguing that there's nothing wrong with that? There is something.
I was saying his statement was true before I was saying nothing wrong with that.
No. So for you to even say, where should he be kept? What wrong with keeping him in a hotel?
That's what I'm saying. Let me explain myself to you. This is what I'm saying. Because I know what happens sometimes.
You don't see people, man.
Let me explain myself to you because I know sometimes what happened in the US here. You can be the little guy in that case. If the Fed wants the big fish and they want you to give that person up, they will hire you. Maybe for your own safety. Maybe they don't want the kids to be compromised. They don't want you to be around those people and have. So it's not something strange that don't happen. It's an arrest that he was on Sandy, not because he was not saying that in South Beach. So no, don't make it seem like, oh yeah, they were pinpointing and something. No, it could have been for so many reasons. If that is true, it could have been for so many reasons, and it happened here in the US a lot. So let's not pretend that those things don't happen.
The brother being a suspect ran away from the country. He ran away from the country. The Ghanaian authority, with Liberia direction, arrested him, sent him back to country. He was picked up from the airport and sent to a hotel called Lifestyle Luxury Hotel. Lifestyle Luxury Hotel in Liberia. You see the picture alone with swimming pool in front of it, you will know that's not where you send alleged criminals. Okay. You send alleged criminal to police cell, to jail, while they are being, especially if the person has ran away from the country, according to you. But the brother was being kept at Lifestyle Luxury Hotel, and allegedly people were going there every day, offering him money to speak ill against Funati Kofa. That's his position. I'm not saying that's true. Okay. My only point here is that the fact that this brother was being kept in a luxury hotel as what? So it was that tactic to say, okay, let's keep you here so we can let's treat you well, let's treat you like a king, let's treat you with royalty so you can give us information. Was that a tactic? Was that a plan?
Could be. We don't
Let's
know.
feed you with the best food in the country, in the best hotel in the country, so you can give us the information. For me, there's some sort of that's not the best practice. So now, because he's speaking out, they brought him forth. In fact, well,
Sandy, no. What do you mean? Because he's speaking.
you are interfering. You are interfering.
I want you to do the
You are not being a host. You are interfering. You are
Stop
putting your political feeling into this.
my question. Stop boycotting my question. And stop telling me political, but I'm asking you why you don't. You don't be telling Nelson that you putting political something in there when you.
Nelson is not as biased as you are.
Asking you a question, so stop saying that all the time. I'm asking you a question. You said because this guy is talking, that's why they're bringing him out now. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, maybe he's refusing their offer.
Maybe. No, you gotta say what's going on here. Don't.
The brother is refusing their offers. The brother is refusing their offers. So now they bring him to the public to say, "Oh, he just came back from Ghana." In fact, they have not told anybody that he has come back from Ghana until today, until we saw the video.
The sister having a press conference yesterday or day before yesterday saying that they did not know that the brother had come back from Ghana, but she knows.
Nobody knows.
She gave a different figure, and the brother gave a different figure.
But the brother, after the brother after the public was informed that the brother was back in the country, that's when everybody got to know. I'm sure that's where the sister got to know. But when the police brought him back to the country, they carried him to the luxury hotel. So I'm not. Look, let me end on this. Quick. This is an ongoing investigation. I have issue with the brother being kept in a hotel. And I'm sure the defense lawyers will also have issue with that. They will want to look into that. You can't pamper somebody to give you information. That's what they were doing, pampering him, treating him with royalty so they can get fake information, so they can buy him out of that. We know that can happen. I mean, there are other strategies that can happen in other countries. What happens in other countries is that the government will bargain with some suspect to go for a big fish, but the bargain will be to gain your freedom, not to give you money. Once you offer the suspect money, it becomes a crime. The brother has consistently said that he has been offered money. And we should look into that. We should take that into serious consideration. You and myself were not in that room. I was not in the room with him. You were not there. We cannot dispute that he was offered money. But one thing we should also look at is the fact that the brother has been in country for more days, but nobody knew he was in country. And he was being kept in a luxury hotel and being fed with the best food in the country.
Thank you, Sandy.
A suspect that allegedly participated in the burning of our Capitol building was being kept in a luxury hotel, being fed with the best food in the country.
Thank you, Sandy.
Something wrong with that.
Sorry, it's funny that Sandy, in everything he's saying that this brother said, he's not saying allegedly, but when he comes to what the police did, he's saying allegedly part of the burning of the Capitol, but when he comes to what this person is accusing the police of, he's saying that as if it's a fact. He knows that for a fact. But go ahead, sorry, tell us your take on it. The sister giving different account of how much was given. But she didn't know. Her brother was in the country. He haven't talked to her brother. She haven't none of that. But she knows. She giving different figure and said 2,000 has been given to him. He's giving different figure. But Sandy said telling us that this story here, it has some truth to it.
Is it your position to discredit the brother and his sister?
No. Go ahead, mute yourself. Go ahead, sorry.
So Sandy gets sad. Sandy already show you sad. So Sandy taking certain things for face value and not taking certain things for face value. But that's a conversation. You chose how to discuss it. You want to establish why the brother run away from the country. If you did not do anything wrong, why should you even run? What was the threat to your life? God, listen to his sister, right? And it is wrong for anybody to be kept in a hotel if it is true. That established that. Because under our jurisprudence or the criminal procedure law, you don't want to keep someone in hotel being a suspect. We got police station, we got other area you can be kept within a 44-hour range, which you're entitled to a legal counsel. I don't know what he said about him being kept to the hotel for I don't know how many days is it true. But I did not see any information from the Liberia National Police or any authority to say John Unity was in country and he was kept to the hotel. And you want to look at instances that are attached to the John Unity thing. Where did John Unity, because people want to come with sort of political something. Where did John Unity sister went to talk about John Unity was given money? Those they fake you in the voice of Toure. It's convoluted. At a certain point in time, we have from Spoon talking about I don't know how many 100,000, they say 50,000, other stuff. So you want to look at where did the sister went to do their press conference? At the CDC party headquarters. People who have complete political thought about these issues. Right? People who have complete political thought about this issue. And you want to look at what is their political affiliation. What are their image objective? Because people have a lot of image objective when they're doing some of these things. As a family, you could have had your independent press conference, but not to be cajoled by political parties to go and say things against the government. Then you mix your stance low, very political. Then people discuss it from a political standpoint. But I listened to John Unity give you some conflicting information today. When you are asked by Massa Kane from OKFM that when did you come into the country, you did not answer that question. And that leaves you and myself into doubt.
Yeah.
You are alleging that the government of Liberia, through the Liberian National Police, even calling names, that they went to you at the hotel. It may happen. It happens sometimes when the state want certain evidence. If the state want somebody who has less, part to play in certain, there is a precedent thing. Somebody who has less part to play in certain case, they'll use you as evidence. But not through bribery, but they can use you as evidence to be a witness against others that have some grave, evidence. Look at the Kumi case where Mr. Bwaga was used as a witness. And, there are instances to show that. So there's that complicated information coming from the brother and that of his sister that we show some. I mean, for me, I'm seeing it from a complete political standpoint. They want to be more political about this thing. So me, I ask myself very simple question like Brempo. If I know I don't do nothing, why should I pledge myself to another country? Why running away for now? Leaving the country, you entitled to legal counsel until your case is finally adjudicated. That's the law in our country. So most of the allegations you're getting is not giving any pictorial evidence, any recording, any documentation to show that some of his allegation it is actually true. So I don't want to take it as face value. If you want to come up with somebody's conversation, you have to be fair and honest. Now, like I said, it is wrong to keep. If it is true, I agree. Maybe he was kept in some kind of hotel that he said it's wrong. It should no suspect should be kept in hotel.
Thank you. Famole, we going back to the beginning of this case, right? This brother was named after these. Although I know there were 3 or 4 suspects arrested. He was named as the person directly, connected with Dixie Sibo or whatever, who recruited them. So, if the government wanted to bribe someone to lie on these people who didn't do anything at all, because that's the whole picture here. These lawmakers did not do anything. They just want me to lie on them. Why would they go after this person who ran away, that was named to be the prime suspect, the person that the direct link, right, to these representatives? Why would the government go after them in another country, extradite them to lie, to get them money to lie on the person when the other 3 suspects are already named him as a direct link? Formula.
So you say, what is the name of the quote-unquote suspect that we're talking about right now?
John Unity.
And which part of the country do you think he come from?
Nuku Town?
Okay, Nukutan is from southeast and Sandy is a southeasterner.
Oh,
So
come on.
and
Don't
that's
do-
that's
don't-
already known.
I know Sandy
That-
do that to me, but don't do
that-
that to him.
No, that's Sandy Bricks and Lace story. You know, Bricks and Lace sang that love is wicked. That's Sandy there singing that song. The love is wicked. Look, we are talking about serious case here against the state. A monumental house, a house that since 1949, all of the 14 years of civil crisis we had in our country, and all of the bitterness we had, never drove Liberian to burn down that house. And that sacred house got to fire. And the government is doing everything on the book to get information, and people here thinking that solidarity case we're running here, or that cow story we're discussing here. You think that story, that two cow story can be discussing here? No. John Yanti is a relative to Dixon Sibo. As information is out there that he facilitated his disappearance. If Yanti felt his innocent, why you think Edric and the other guys there stay in the country? And he fled. And when you listen to the IG press statement, he said there are other individuals that are charged in extension. You are referring to Yanti. And one other person, he said he's not going to reveal because they are already on the case and they know exactly how they can get it. They don't want to put out all the case because it's a criminal case before they disappear. So if you sit on a platform and make it seem to it that the government is doing things just to incriminate somebody who is innocent, yes, the law said everybody is proven innocent until otherwise, or before the case or the court of competent jurisdiction. We know that. But this person is a person of interest. He's a suspect. And he had profile criminal cases. Look, some of us
Protect the suspect.
Yeah, some people don't understand the rudimentaries of criminal cases, so they can sit on a show and just distribute anything they want to
Oh,
but
that's not good. There's something else.
Amy.
No, I gotta protest here. I'm
not attacking anybody. Don't use the CDC attack terminology on me. I'm not attacking. I'm saying people don't understand the rudimentary of criminal cases. It's obvious because from the articulation you know. But if the state needs somebody in the common adage, in our common Liberian adage, if you want care of fowl, give it water to drink. You think that if the government has somebody of a suspect or interest, the government has to protect them. In serious manner country like America gave other people citizenship and all just to get information from them.
Oh, yeah.
Buy mansion for them, put them in 5-star hotel. Even I don't know whether they get anything more than 5-star hotel. Put them in, made them live life as if that there will be no judgment for them tomorrow because the government want to get information. And first of all, I will take this is what they call convolution. When somebody say one thing on the side and another person on the other side say another thing on the other side, and another person say another thing on the other side, and then you try to compile the information together, it doesn't correlate. Then that means it is convoluted.
Yeah.
You see one person sister left her home and went to a party headquarters, received 2,000 from somebody and go stay there like 2,000 remaining will bring. The bring is very calculative. That they want to bring, remember, stand before the camera. To lie is very hard, my brother. You stand before the camera and the first thing you say, that the lie can't out. 2,000. They pay John Yanti on one side. We already know the man working in the civil office. We already know the man, and we already know. And we already know he tapped in his appetite. So the story then, let me finish before I lost my train.
Yeah, let me put it down.
Yeah. This element.
This program has turned to a pre-singing program for Wakai in the university. But what you're doing is unfair. By putting this brother picture up and aligning with the CDC is unfair.
Is it not in the CDC?
You
My
what
man,
from me?
wait.
I got this.
Let
I
me
got
finish,
this.
man. Let me
You
finish
had
talk,
your
man.
saying. What you had your saying, and okay, go ahead, family.
Yeah. That man go in the back, man. So look, we are talking about nations or national interest. We are not discussing tribal group or discuss everything that we're discussing here. Liberia supersede or Liberia is above all. So when we're discussing that thing here, they put the sentiment one side, they put our feeling one side. If we want to talk like that, people say, oh, you're talking on behalf of the government. But this is just common sense. The common sense here is that the house got a fire, and the government need to bring this issue about impunity to rest. We all beat on this government that this government does not stand for the rule of law. And now the government is trying to set a precedent case, and people here saying today that the government cheating and abetting criminal. Look, the criminal justice system in Liberia is growing and changing. There are so many ways the government is trying now to get information. And this case is one of those cases that the Liberian government has is making a landmark, and step.
Do you think Liberians really? I mean, some people that say, "Oh, we want to know what happened to the Capitol building," or the law should be the law. What is the person did they say they should catch them? They should do that. Do you think Liberians are really serious about what they're saying, or because the moment something like I would think that people would be saying everything should be transparent. They should look into this, brother. You know, something we all know. I know something is not right about that, but they should look into it to see if there's any truth in there. Instead of saying that, people are already like believing that like you said, story that is coming from different side, like conflated story and everything, and actually giving a attention to it. So do you think people really want to know what happened here, or they are just saying it to look good when they're in front of the camera?
Look, the Liberian people who are the chief architect of everything, whether progress or retrogression, they are the one that is beating. They are the one beating on this government to ensure that this issue, because Amy, Liberia is one of those countries in our region that when people who are at the echelon of power, who are at the top over there, when they are involved in cases, in criminal cases, those cases don't last long in the gossip mill. It's just they have a very short lifespan and die out. But this time around, we cry on President Bouaka that on your arrest agenda, the rule of law is one thing. And to fulfill that, look, President Bouaka is not going to fulfill all of his arrest agenda in just 2 years. He's not going to do that. It's not possible from a logical standpoint. But is he going to touch all of them and set the foundation for for others to follow and say, oh yes, the foundation has been laid and this is a precedent that the president has said? Yes, he's going to touch that. And that's the reason why I am not going to sit on a show. I will not be on a show and somebody think that we do there's a Photoshop here or there's somebody being targeted here. The government is trying to make sure that all those who are connected to the incident that burned down the state house be brought to book. And the government can use any means at its disposal to get information, and the information that the government is getting, it should be substantiated in front of the full bench of the Supreme Court. And the Liberian people, that's the reason why they are coming. Give me a few seconds. That's the reason why everybody call for impartial justice, transparent justice. And if you listen to Safoko, Honorable Safoko and Mafinko, those two guys who we saw in picture posturing themselves in very violent act in Liberia, in the House of Legislature. But yet and still, when the police invited them and run through their screening and know that they were not connected, when they came out, you listen to what he said. He said this process is transparent. The police did a due diligence and they're going to respect the process. He was even becoming more spiritual after he was released from the Monrovia Central Prison. Look, this process is transparent. Anybody, the CDC can spin it anyway. We know CDC. We know the elements that are in CDC. They are not patriotic. They are liars. They can do anything to disrupt the process, and that's the reason why they see they're having all the press conferences, intimidating the police, putting police picture all around, putting news on police. Oh, there's the person, there's the person, there's the person. They're doing all of that to derail this process. But this process, I am 100% confident in the ingenuity of Gregory Cuomo and his expert and those that surrounded him, those that are surrounding him in making sure that this particular case is brought to a logical conclusion. Gregory Cuomo is following everything that is on the book, and we will make sure that we that are on this side will sit on the platform and beat on the government and make sure the case does not go down the drain, and no political pressure can make this government to make sure those who bring the state capital be brought to book. The 50,000, the Radio King Gadi can sit down here and say 100,000. The other people can say 50, and the other one can say 2,000. The government, that particular one will be decided right in the courthouse. You will stand before the judge and they'll do it and tell them that the government gave 50,000, and you give the proof, because the government does not base the court does not base a judgment on speculation. You provide the proof, and then we'll know whether that 50,000 government gave you or that 100,000, 100 million you will refuse 100,000.
So what is the Radio King Gadi?
So sorry.
The Radio King Gadi. Oh, sorry, you don't know Radio King Gadi. I'm gonna call it for you.
Yes, Cindy needs to come back. So sorry. Do you think that this case should be trial on national television? I don't even know if they had everything in it, or national Facebook and YouTube. Do you think that for people, for Liberians all around the world to see, to hear the evidence, to see them being presented in the court? Sorry.
I think so, but I don't know why usually the media has been restricted. I don't know what law. I don't have education about what law should prevent media based on certain magnitude or certain case.
I mean,
but
I
think moving forward,
but they're gonna stick this shit. This is a high profile case, right? Everybody coming up, people want to muddy the water, the evidence that the government has. They want to make it seem to the public like, oh, the government is just making up stories and all of that. So to make this, like, we all are asking for transparency, right? This is why I'm asking you this question, and to just make the public aware, instead of people politics coming out and giving information. Oh, this is what was like that. This is what was like that. Should it be open to the public, that they will hear it for themselves, they will see it for themselves, to have that closure, or to be confident about whatever verdict that come out of there.
Yeah, like I was saying, I don't know why the media has been restricted from somebody hearing. I don't know what law preventing, or what are some of the things that they actually don't want to happen. But I think in most of the cases, like you talk about the magnitude of the case, I think it should be more open to the Liberian people to see out of the hearing, trial, and all the stuff going on. See it for themselves, for people to not speculate. But I think there might be some reason why media has been restricted to not go to the hearing and carry on live. I don't have much knowledge on that, but I think from my own little bit understanding or how I see things, most of the cases should be open to the Liberian people. Let us see how the hearing, how argument had gone, how argument has been proceeding or should be proceeded in some of the cases. But at the end of the day, if even you and myself can agree, if even you got injuries or you got even I don't know whether CDC have any TV station or TV radio for themselves as political party. Even you have them within our courtroom, there must be some outbreak. There must be some disagreement as to how the state is thinking. What I think mostly we should really focus on is the government should do all in their own way, that my brother said, their case should come to its final conclusion, because going out the day, people feel within themselves that they own Liberian more than Liberian themselves. A group of people going out the day, people feel that if you have certain disagreement, you always put into violence, and I mean burning down a building that you don't have penny in. That international support or international donor came and put in their country, develop your country, then you want to burn it down because you have certain political agreement. So I think that case should go to the final conclusion. There are a lot of things people will say about this case, but I don't think the government should be really care. What the government should be care about looking at procedure, abiding by the law, like the president said. You always hold the rule of law, and I think that's paramount to some of us in that country. No matter what you do, people will say what they want to say.
Yeah, absolutely. People will say what they want to say, but at least if you bring it to the public and the public are seeing that, and it's not just a party, one party coming up and saying things, they will still do that, like you said. But at least the public will be like, oh no, we all saw it. This is what happened. We all saw the evidence. We all heard it. So, they won't give them any listening ear or anything. But you, of course, you will still have people from the CDC there's most of them know the truth, but what they want to, they will still defend it and what have you. So we already know that, but for the betterment of the whole country, that's why I was asking that question. So so we're gonna go ahead and do our closing. I think we gone very far into this. Sandy did not come back. So, Famila, go ahead, start us up on your closing, and we'll take guys. Please, I can't tell you to share the show now, but whenever you come on, share the show, and it's kind of late that I'll tell you to do it. But yeah, go ahead, Famila.
No, it's not late to share the show. It's not late to ever share a show.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, share the show and subscribe to our YouTube, Liberian Watch News, YouTube and Facebook. Subscribe and share. Thank you for coming. Go ahead, Famla.
So, look, we what a great day today. I wish we will always have people coming up all the time to discuss issue of this nature. Liberia is growing. And I can tell you that Liberia is moving forward. Even though we still have people who are anti to the progress of that country, but the children of light.
Oh,
the children
sorry
of
from
light.
that word. I guess some guys want to call in tonight and
okay.
Asking. So let's take a few calls.
Yeah, like I was just about to ask, but
yeah, let's take a few calls and see. And before we go, the number is 267-586-5479. Call us up and give us your thoughts on these discussions that we just had.
So while your call coming in,
yeah,
let me just tell you why it is sometimes not prudent enough to bring the media into the courthouse, especially during criminal cases of this nature. Okay. Look, the number one reason why it is true. First of all, let me put my thesis this way, my anti-thesis the other way.
Okay, I got a call. Good evening, caller. Please tell us your name and tell us where you're calling from.
Yeah, thank you. My name is Thomas Kume, and I call you from Liberia. So you got me crying because you didn't pronounce about the call.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I think I said, you may have to do that for nothing. But it's a wonderful show, and firstly, let me thank all the panelists.
Mm-hmm.
And we also want to encourage them to please, as they come on, please hold on to the end of the show. We know they are busy. And my old friend and brother was on today. Later, Arthur, I want to say thank you for coming to the show and everybody. All right, so to the talking issues. I got on the show when you were discussing the president's private travels and the plane, and then we came down to the what's the next topic after that? So I was writing down.
We came down to the NPA boss.
Right. So the thing about the president's private, like many of the panelists did justice to the discussions. I think we are all making a recommendation now that Liberia needs to have her own plane, private plane, okay? Because that alone, like somebody said, the president cannot be kept in a lobby waiting for a commercial flight, and before he can leave, no. So that is a fair and a perfect recommendation that we are all making. That Liberia needs a private. Like some of the panelists said, there was no justice in the past. Justice to the issue of private jet. Past regime did not tell us and how much they were using. Present is not telling us. So the best thing is we should have our own. And I think the government should listen to the recommendation and work through that. Then the NPA bus. This is where I got different feelings about the panelists. We want to show our loyalty to our political party on certain topics, and then we don't want to show loyalty when it comes to, if this one is not in my favor, no, then I'll probably leave the show. And, I feel hijacked, I feel not being listened to. So all of them discussed the NPA boss issue. And I don't know what else Sandy would say you were not being partisan on that topic, because you were then saying that the NPA boss should be suspended now and he should be turned over for investigation. And you were even also saying whether there will be fair trial in this case, the Johnny man. And, so I don't know why Sandy didn't see that part to say, oh, you are not being partisan. And, but then when it came to this discussion about John Yati, now for the record, John Yati is my personal friend. We live in Nigutan together, and I know him very well. All he did is have been sedition. And, so when you were posting a picture of him in a CDC brigadier, and then he sending confess, no, you are not making any story. John Yati is an unrepentant sedition. And, so that is for the record. I know John Yati very well.
Thank you.
Very, very well. Yeah. So the case is in court. The two cases, the NPA boss, I want to suggest or recommend to the government, the president now, to even suspend him. You see, this is where people get us different. The United Partisans are not, we are not here to defend the purple defenders. No. If it is wrong, we say it. If it is right, we say it. And we put that rough first. And if everybody can start to think in that direction, the country will go forward. And that will be political. We put the country first. If this person is from a party, though he's from a party, he did the wrong thing. We put that rough first. Then it happened in the case of Amin Mutai, and nobody came to support him. Nobody was defending him. And, so we are not like the typical citizen.
Thank you, Thomas.
We want to defend to the court, the 4 years. And they got teacher all around resisting, they will resist. No, we are for the country. And, so we want to join the government to please do whatever in the best interest of the country to bring the corporates to proper cause for what happened in the capital Benin.
Thank you.
Unity is a solution that I can tell you for free. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Thomas. And and I tell you, it's important to point that out and to see him give the link that he has with this case. But I guess my brother Cindy saw that as I don't know what place I would get to want to link somebody to. Nah. But anyway, that it happens sometimes. Things get heated on the show and things happen. So George will call in. I'm trying to call him back, but he's not.
Yeah. I was saying that the reason why we don't have the media,
there he goes. 1 second. Let me answer him before he said, because he's sedition, so I don't want to answer his call. Go ahead. Caller, tell us your name and where you calling from.
Bring that lazy
My
George,
name is
man.
George Wheeler, and I'm calling from Australia. How are you?
Why are you so low?
We don't need to sound convoluted.
Let me put the volume up a little bit. How is it now? Is it better? Is the volume better?
You guys can hear?
Yeah. Go ahead, make your point,
go
bro.
ahead.
Great. Look, I want to thank you guys for the show. I just feel that this thing is just, you guys should just, rehearse, do your rehearsal, go when you come on the show. They can say the same thing, then you can go back home. It will be a good thing. Then they'll come and pretend to be saying something different and saying the same thing anyway. But here's the thing. I just want to thank President White Guy for agreeing with everything that he disagreed with yesterday. Because President White Guy said George Weah was doing nothing, but when he came, he started doing the same thing George Weah was doing, the same role George Weah was being inside the building. The same thing, everything that George Weah did not think he started doing. So that means he's doing nothing as well. But here is the point. This private jet thing, I don't want to criticize him. I just want to let him know, let his followers know that President Walker did not have any idea what he would do as a president. He did not understand how the presidency worked. That's why he criticized private jet. Now that he's come to his senses and realized that, this is very unnecessary. I want to thank him for coming back to his senses. And to the issue of the trial, look, here's what I say in the comment. I disagree with some of you guys who say they shouldn't have put, this guy in a hotel. They shouldn't have done that. No. Once they have come to the agreement that they will not criminally charge this guy, they will use him as a state witness. They had a right to give him all the maximum protection like president because he holds the key to their case. If at all it is true that he was part of the conspiracy or part of the act of burning down the Capitol. So I disagree with
at least George must agree on something.
But if at all this thing is being done to entice this guy to lie on people, then of course for me that's the wrong. That's what that's why I call the chase, right? Mm-hmm. So we need to as Liberians need to be objective for once. I see people saying that the man are CDC man, the man is a Liberian, and guess what? The long you start to do those things, suppose he goes in court and say that you're witness, and he testifies against you, you lost the entire case for no reason, only because you want to politicize the case. So we need to be logical as Liberians. Let's just do the right thing for once and forget about politics and look at the reality. What is in this case that is warranting our attention? Let's look at it like that and stop politicizing every little thing that happens in the country. I want to thank you and continue to have a conversation. Liberia friends, Liberia love.
Thank you, George, and I hope you'll take your own advice to stop politicizing everything.
Yeah, George talking. That's the reason why I'm thinking that someone talking in that man's stomach tonight.
George got the Holy Spirit right now.
I don't know who's speaking in George stomach tonight. George talking that. So
I hope you're gonna take his own advice.
Liberia first, Liberia last.
Yeah. But
today, George.
All
right. I was saying, the reason why many a times cases of this nature is not brought out like this in with the media in the courthouse is simply because there are instances where people will interfere with the case, bias and manipulation and other things. Like for instance, the kind of for journalism we have in Liberia, I don't even know who giving people phone this time. Everybody can get home. Anything happen, they get their phone. People get start saying their own thing. You saw the case with the BBC reporter Gasebu when he was in a little altercation with the police, and the police were telling him to go back there, and you were trying to tell people, "Oh, I'm a BBC journalist," trying to say, but his appearance was not. And in any way showing that he's one, he refused to identify. He said the police asking, and he want to. As soon as the police got inside, another Kwasa guy standing on the side, poop, start recording. Oh, Gasebu has been brutalized. And people get quick to hold phone this time in that bro and just say anything. And without even everybody can just say anything on the phone. And the issue about the part that the laws always say that and everybody should be held liable. The freedom of speech, but anything you say, you should be held liable. I don't know what happened to that other part that people can get say anything at any time, and and what they say whether it is damaging or it poses security risk or what, we don't care. People get say, oh, that freedom of speech. As soon as you won't go to and say, oh, you're trying to infringe on somebody's right. But that's the reason why, and one of the reasons why, people don't go into the court house or these cases of this nature not going to be out like that to allow the journalists to go in. They will manipulate that whole case. Everybody will start saying their own thing, and you already know. But what a great show. I just want to be grateful to our audience because they are the ones who helping this show. And we want to say thank you. Please always share the show. And anytime you come on the show, whether via YouTube or Facebook, you can just share the show. And it doesn't matter whether we are live or not. If you share the show, it's still going to help. And it's going to still remind somebody that the next time we appear online, you can give them a notification that we are online. They can come because this is a nightly exchange. I always say where issues are scrupulously and meticulously discussed with logic and tolerance. And so we want to have more people coming on the show. Come up there, have the conversation. It's a roundtable discussion. You say your own, I say my own, and then in the end, you're in the comment section going to be the judge. What a great show, and we hope to see you guys tomorrow. But Liberia should always and always be our number one. And we beat on each other, but in the end, let us know that we want the best for Liberia. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. It was a great show, and I say thanks to the caller, one of the callers that's supposed to be a panelist. Let's inform the Liberian people. No, law is not by your feeling or how you see it. Law is reasoning. It's beyond how you just see it. It's written something. It's very unlawful to keep any suspect anywhere in any authorized building that is not authorized. Let me say that way. For a suspect to be kept, right? It is when the Constitution talk about your constitutional right, it prohibits arbitrary arrest, unlawful detention, and some of the unlawful detention they talk about. You cannot take, for example, Mr. Johnson from his house and go and keep him to another facility that is not organized or that is not recognized by government to be a police station or custody where a suspect should be in. It's wrong. It is not about how you see things. If one is a suspect, he's a suspect. So I don't think if the government want any information for him to make it because of the less crime he has or his involvement, they could get it from him at Central. Central has a lot of beautiful places where you can keep people. So it is not right to keep somebody in a hotel. I get that clear. But I think it was a very fine conversation. Sometimes we wear a political cap. Sometimes we are not fair to some of the conversation. But it is what it is. But I think in my mind, out of all wanting for Liberia, like out of all we always say, keep sharing the conversation. Because your comment, your interaction with us is part of making this show great. But I think it's always a good thing to be here. Let's keep discussing Mama Liberia.
I see somebody calling me. I don't know. Hold on 1 second. Hello?
Yeah, our show's still on, y'all. Stop.
Well, we are closing and about to leave, but I'll give you 1 minute. Go ahead and give us your point.
I can't talk for 1 minute. I can talk for 7 minutes, but let me talk.
Tell us your name and where you calling from, and then give your point.
Oh, okay. My name is G. Alexander Totes. I call from Minnesota. I listen to you. At least some of our followers may not coming from work. But thank you for giving us some updates and allowing her to make our inputs. I listen to everybody, but it is good for the Liberian people. And what I can say to you, our country, we got a long way to go in terms of development, in terms of have a good leadership in play. Mm-hmm. And yesterday, 2 years ago, President Boakai promised that he will rescue Liberia, made a lot of book of promises. Mm-hmm. All those things that you criticize George Weah were writing private jets and other people that Dara denounced. Today they are not talking because everything is in the favor. They are not only doing it because of Unity Party, they are doing it for what? For our future generation. Because Liberians, everybody see Liberia as an elephant meat. Government come to power, they will say, oh yeah, that's our time. Now, the Unity Party time. So they do everything instead of improving the livelihoods of the Liberian people. It is very sad. When I listen to Joseph Boakai today, where he said, yes, occasionally we can use when it's necessary to use private jet that you criticize George Weah for. They were demonstrating for June 7th that George Weah is using private jet, building homes and all those stuff and things. So that tells you that every child or whoever that's supporting politicians, this is a great lesson for all. Politicians will come to you and say a lot of good things, but when they get to the power, they don't think about what they said yesterday.
Thank you, John. Thank you for your appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Finish up.
All right, Amy. What a great show. And
Are you done, Soiree?
Yeah.
Okay, so
I'm done.
thank you guys for coming. Thank you for being here with us till this late. Those of you who are in Liberia, we appreciate you. We're trying to get on the radio. All of you who can't come on because of your data. I was saying like, bro, yeah, data. We're trying. So just hang in there. We'll get there. And thank you. And yeah, some of these discussions, I think, political. Everybody wants to show their side, and sometimes some people get emotional and they get carried away. But I think most of the time we should always try to, be civil with each other and things like that. But at the end of the day, it should all be about Liberia, and we will all have sides. None of us here are journalists. We're here to give our points and everything. But the discussion, we should be honest with the discussion, and when the other person make that point, we should also be tolerant to listen to other people making that point, regardless of whether we like it or not. You can always come back and give a rebuttal, and always come back and tell what you think, or if that person is giving the wrong information. But I think from there on, we should all just it's all about Liberia. Come on, CDC, ANC. What a new party name. CMC. Whoever you are, come on and let's discuss Liberia. This is a independent platform. We welcome everybody. It's from Monday to Thursday, maybe sometime Friday and Saturday. It depends. For now, it's from Monday to Thursday. It's supposed to be 12 Liberia time and 8 over here, but we're still lacking and still dragging because we just started. So something will come on 12:30, 1 o'clock. Bear with us. We get it right. And when you come on, you can find us on Liberia Watch News. This show is called the Night Exchange. And subscribe, share, and let's enjoy the conversation. Thank you all. Thank you for the calls, and thank you for everyone who's watching, who's commenting, and who's not commenting. And with that, I want to say we'll talk to you tomorrow, God's willing, and bye for now.